Time to play the game. Time to play the game!
Whoever that nameless, copyright-free, public domain guitarist was right there was better than anything I've ever heard from the Hollywood Vampires, including Joe Perry.
What
Way
guitar
better.
player? There were a few.
Well, I mean, there's a gig. David was talking about how people can make money doing like public domain music that people can use on this and
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And often they're more talented musicians than the actual people who get signed to, which is the whole industry's bullshit because it's not merit based and there's no best and it's all about weird nepotism and cronyism and weird timing and makes me hate the music industry on every level.
I thought you were talking about that hack guitar player at the very, very beginning of that intro. So I wasn't sure where you were going, but
Did he talk his way out of it?
yeah, barely.
Like John is no worse or better than people who get. He did get signed though. He did get signed. From what I hear, he's better than Fred, as a matter of fact. And speaking of Radio Gunk, I hear you're going to be on later. Bon
I guess
Jovial
so.
and I were talking. All your fans are
Apparently.
going crazy. Your fans are going crazy for your comeback debut. I can't remember the last time you were on. I want to
Gary
say
Part 2.
that was like 2000 what 19?
No, 2020. Yeah, my uncle had just died, and I made the mistake of going on, and I was extra loopy. And my mother, while I was on the show, my mother's texting me saying they think he killed himself. So that was a great show. I
Is there
really
ever
performed
a
well.
moment of non-tragedy in your life? It seems like
I'm just
it just
getting
keeps coming. It just
I'm getting to the age where they're dropping, and you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
it happens.
In your 20s and somewhat 30s, all your people get married, and then in your 40s
Mhm.
and 50s, everyone dies,
Yep, you
or
got it.
so it appears.
Yeah.
Let's say hi to everybody. A. Smith, thank you for all your undying support. We are lucky to have you, and nothing with that. There's nobody the better person to have in a foxhole than A. Smith, right?
Mhm.
He's like Steve Rogers. He would jump on a grenade for your father.
Now, keep in mind, I have not listened to Howard Stern since the Wendy Williams tirade.
That's the beauty of it.
So I am going in this fresh-faced, naive. Not really. I know what's going on, but yeah, I'm ready to vomit
My
after I
point
hear
is, you don't need to
today's
listen to
show.
that show. You don't need to listen to it to comment on it because I think you are well versed to know how predictable it is. You've heard it all before. You're
Mhm.
never going to be caught off guard. It's the same old bullet points, lazy. You could replay a show and think it's from 5 years ago. It's the same show. It is god awful. There is no low bar. I can't. I find myself. I say this. I find myself saying over and over again that I repeat myself over and over again on that show, and we will continue to do it. What I'm not a huge fan of that format we do now. I've gone on record of saying I don't like the
Yeah, I don't know
daily. I
how
think
you do the
it's
live shows,
because we just
especially
repeat
now.
ourselves every show.
Mhm. I have other
Um,
things to say about it, but I will wait until the Radio Gunk at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which would be wait, no, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time, which is the only time that counts.
and if I had my if we kind of put it, I'm a co-creator of this damn thing. I've been doing this since 2015. I'm the Larry David of Radio Gunk. So if I had my vote, I'd put a moratorium on all things Ronnie all things JD, never to be and his parents. Never again will I speak of it.
I would
Out,
have ended the
out,
Ronnie
out.
thing halfway through the
Yep.
limo, the classic quote unquote limo thing with the SUV limo. I didn't care then. I don't care now. So I would have ended him then.
Well, you
JD, I never would have had happen.
you have
And
Stuttering John to blame for Ronnie because he's the one who brought him into the fold
well, he was
to
also a
Juji
writer
and
on the
stuff.
show,
Yep.
and he wrote all those questions that he went and asked. So I really believe everything he says.
Welcome Autobot. Welcome PC PBO. Get it on to you, my friend Hooper. As usual, welcome, sir. I had a baseball comment to Hooper. Hooper, looks like the Major League Baseball World Series is going to be the Braves and the Orioles.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That's two old school teams. I hope the Orioles win it so Elaine Bennis gets to celebrate.
Baseball.
No, I didn't. I only reason I looked is because JD Harmeyer had some Reds thing, and I wanted to. We didn't even talk about it. He was like looking at his phone or something at a wedding, and it was checking the Reds score. And I said the Reds are just to see where they were in the standings. They're in 8th place in the National League, so they're at. It's even more insulting that you do it. A simpleton like him would. Just got home, hot as balls today, 101 degrees. 100. Is there anything worse than a Indian summer? In Depp's case, it's 1/15th Indian summer. 1/15th. Is he 1/15th? You're a little Cherokee too, aren't you, Sarah? Sarah, did you drop out on me? Or did I drop out? Anyone in the chat can hear me and not hear Sarah. Did she drop out? Who am I? Flamer24 over here. Great to catch you live, Flamer24. 6 hours of Sarah tonight. Probably 5. I'd say 4.5 hours. If anybody in the chat can hear me. Okay, thank you, Autobot. Thank you, A. Smith. Okay, so they hear me, and Sarah somehow dropped out. Isabel 8394 from the Potomac, shall we say? Isabel is a Orioles fan, and I did know that because you did mention that some other time. And I am rooting for out of the teams that qualify. I am rooting for the Baltimore Orioles to win the World Series. Nothing would make me happier. They got some good fans there. There is. I always wonder. Now you have in Washington, you have 2 teams for virtually every sport, right? So in
Mm-hmm.
New York, we grew up with the hideous options of it. Would the Jets and the Giants would dominate our football because one would be on at 1 Eastern, the other one would be on at 4, and so you could have like the greatest game on the schedule, and you wouldn't get to see it. So it's actually horrible to have local teams because you don't get the best game. They have this weird local contract the NFL signs, which is really antiquated with fantasy football. It doesn't work anymore. So in her area, you have the Redskins and the Ravens. So I wonder if they automatically show them in that area.
Commanders.
And no, I'm saying Redskins. And in and in like Pennsylvania, it's the Steelers and the Eagles, even though they're very far apart.
Gross. I apologize. I made a boo-boo. I hovered over my little laptop mouse and it kicked me out of everything. So no technical issues, just me. Just
Wait,
my issue.
what happened? Just for future reference of just like just so I don't we can
I
learn from.
hovered too closely over my laptop mouse.
Okay.
And you know how it's very sensitive.
Yeah. Yes.
So it kicked me out of everything.
Autobuckles Army need to host Radio Gunk while Monique is. I kind of it's not what happens is that Bon Jovial has a password to the kind of like I'm not going to listen to the show. I'm probably not going to listen to the Stern show. So he has a better system to play the stuff. I would yeah, I mean, I think in a special show that's not one of these daily things, I definitely will do that.
Why don't you, as the king of the archive,
He's
just
talking about like run the thing like I'm doing
no,
now.
I get it. But why don't you just pick a theme and
Well,
cover like one of your many compilations that you have put together?
Well, that
Why don't
was
you
the
just do
format in
that?
the beginning.
I know.
Where we do maybe a blanket coverage of the crap show if something happened that was salacious. Not
Mhm.
the daily stuff. Like I said, we are repeating ourselves every show. I find myself like I'm in the middle of saying something and I catch myself knowing that I said this 100 times and I start to lose my enthusiasm in the middle of a sentence and I'm going, You have to almost like fake it, almost like a stand-up comedian who repeats the same act every night of the week, and he has
I
to
don't
act like it's the first time he says it,
I don't fake anything, so.
except orgasms. Um,
By the way, I've loaded you up with a few sound clips. They have a theme,
okay.
so you might want to, go through them. We got time.
Autobot, that's very deep, and you're a very deep guy because you're from Seattle. We've reached the age
Yes.
where life begins to take from us rather than give to us.
Mhm.
That's something that either Alice in Chains or Soundgarden or Pearl Jam or Nirvana should have written at some point.
I think
Sounds like
Chris
it is
Cornell
like in
wrote
a
it.
grunge song, right?
It should be. Let me get to the business, and then we'll get on to the fun stuff. Okay.
Yes.
All right. New month. What are we? September? Oh God. Anyway, the heat wave's over in Oregon anyway. August is over. Thank God. No heat wave equals super chats. I don't know how, but it does.
It's so
So if
stupid.
you can,
That's so stupid.
if
Not
you
even
can,
the most hucksterist con man among us would
can
say
link
that.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can super chat us, please, that would be fantastic. We also have, if Arm would ever take the chat down, we also have the Cash App, the $ Deppening 1, plus that little Venmo thingy over to the side. And right there in the middle, you can see where we're at with our progress every month. Also, join us over on patreon.com/wino forever. It's the greatest $2 you'll ever spend. If it's not, just don't join.
You got Hooper goes 6 hours of Sara tonight.
Duh.
Probably 5, right? I wouldn't even
2 for that show,
maybe
and
5.
then
Yeah, this who knows what this
2.5
is.
here, maybe.
Yeah. Look at we got a Flamer catching us live. So Flamer. I have a Reddit what do you call it? Tag name or avatar. It's Light and the Loafers.
Mhm.
I don't know why. It's such an old
Yes, you
school
do.
gay insult. It just still makes me laugh.
Go over
It's
to your little sound clips and click on the gay one. That'll tell you why.
hold on a second. I'm sorry.
Oh, lovely. You know how to set it up, don't you?
I know you're very excited for your little creation here. Okay, hold on. So that's George Michael's Faith video? Is that
Yeah.
night to
I needed an ass shot.
you remember Dana Carvey's George Michael impression? It was that a lot.
So
Feel
I guess
my
that
ass,
one's
Dennis.
not a winner. Do you want me to trash that one?
No, it's fine. It's cute. It's you can't have enough drops. It's all arbitrary. What that was good. You got
And
another one?
play the trigger warning because we need to every episode apparently.
That's very funny. You know how tired I am of this woke shit from the Alex Jones sect of the world, but that's very funny.
Well, we
I'm
have
tired of
somebody that follows us from platform to platform to condemn us after every show because we insinuate things. It's like, oh, Jesus Christ, this may not be for you.
well, this certainly is. I have a Harvey Weinstein article from that Depp wrote from 2012.
No, well,
I'm
you
gonna
really
read
didn't get
soon.
'em going.
Yeah. You got another one?
I don't know. Play what you want. I think the first.
Stone Cold! Stone Cold! For God's sakes! Stone Cold is back!
That punch is horrible. It's the
That's
Gary
a
Delabate throw of punches.
it's a potato.
I can't believe he got where he got looking that shitty with that horrible
Shut
form.
your mouth.
I'm not saying he's not charismatic, but boy, those moves are basic bitch. I
Yeah.
have more moves than he does. I can do a sunset flip and he can't. You realize that?
No.
I do. Brendan will tell you that. I certainly can.
Ooh, that sounds
I learned
weird.
it from Rocky Johnson. I learned it from the Rock's dad.
All right.
How is he not dropped dead of steroid
I
heart
know.
attack?
I know.
He's
And
pushing 80, right? Isn't he close to 80?
do you know what his schedule every day is?
I know it's like Marky Mark, like bragging that he gets up at 4 a.m. and right.
He sleeps like 3 hours. He gets up
Right,
at
of
2
course.
a.m. and works out for 2,
Ugh,
goes back to bed for like a half an hour, and then starts his day.
good God.
I know.
And it's so unnecessary too. Who's at?
Mhm.
He's running the company. Who's asking him to get up? And he just does it to brag, like Marky Mark. Like who's
Well, I think
asking
he's
you
on
to
his
do
way
it?
out because he's got some sexual scandals going on. So,
Marky Mark, you've seen him on Instagram bragging about getting up at 3 a.m., right? And it's just
mhm.
one shitty movie after the next. If that's what gets you up at 3 a.m., I don't want anything to do with it. The worst cinema in mankind in the last 20 years, and the worst actor, I might add, and a
Mhm.
guy who blinded racist Koreans and wilding. We played the stuff of him terrorizing that black family. And once you do that once, what do they say, Sarah? What did Maya Angelou say? If someone shows you who they are, believe them, right?
Yeah.
That's who he is at his
Mhm.
core. That's who. I don't want to this come
I
to
won't.
Jesus
There's
shit. He is the worst.
nothing to argue with you on there. I agree.
Good stuff, Sarah. I'll put it in the
No, you
look at we
won't.
got G Canada, the ultimate ball buster. Good afternoon, G Canada. Flamerd says, I'm Irish and I don't get all the American shows. What is this Howard Stern's beef? Don't worry about it, Flamer. You're missing nothing. I'm not going to waste your time. You seem like an intelligent broad. I'm not going to waste your time. And you're going to lose brain cells if I
Is that a
explain it.
woman?
I'm just going to assume. I
Oh,
don't know why.
geez. I'm sorry if you're not.
Arm, I got that quote from Indiana Jones. Okay, Autobot, I didn't realize that. I don't have, I love the Indiana Jones movies, but I don't know, I don't have them like, encyclopedic dialogue. It's been a long time. I don't know if people realize, but the director of Captain America: First Avenger is Joe Johnston, who directed Indiana Jones. And you could see it when you watch Cap First Avenger. It was meant to feel like Indiana Jones, with the Red Skull and the Nazis and stuff. And I have major medical expenses, says the three-eyed catfish. I am so sorry, three-eyed,
Hey,
and no
don't.
insurance to support and non-existent outside of necessities.
I understand. You don't have to donate.
I found a clip the other
Hit the
day
like
of
button, but I see that. I see in a later comment you
yeah,
do. So
everybody hit like and
appreciated.
subscribe.
I know.
Hit like and subscribe. I feel like such a hackneyed cliche.
Or
Say,
what we could do, I could ask a question, and to get the comments going, so we show up in the algorithm. I could ask a question. Put your answers down in the comments below. That's just
yes.
so they can get you can when you hear that on a show, that's basic. They don't care about your answer. That's basically just to get more views on their videos. So
Three-eyed catfish. Don't get G Canada going on the American medical system and all its flaws and all its, I would say, sociopathic, capitalistic embarrassments internationally. Don't get G Canada going.
he's
I
already
couldn't
going.
I couldn't be in support of you more, three-eyed catfish. Just go to the hospital and don't pay. Just don't just don't pay. We want everybody to be productive, but we don't want them healthy, right, Sarah, in
Mm,
America?
sure.
Everybody die. Yeah, great. $4,000 for 4 pills of Effexor. We got a great system. It's embarrassing, three-eyed, and I am embarrassed for us. And you deserve all the best care, and I'll do everything in my power to. I found a clip of the other day. It's great. It's got nothing to do with anything, but I want to play it. Riley Martin begging Sirius for medical coverage for doing a show, and he had to put it.
Mhm.
He did a go. No, people don't know about this. He did a GoFundMe, and they wouldn't contribute. They just let him languish. I believe he could have been saved if they did that. And I had no. It's a weird thing. No one really knows about this, or it's never talked about. He went on Howard show screaming about Sirius not giving him medical coverage,
Good for
and he had
him.
to do it. He had to do a GoFundMe
Put the overlay back up.
before there was a GoFundMe. Which overlay?
The one that was up before with the Venmo.
Did I take it down?
Yes, you did. Did you delete it?
No, I didn't delete it. Where is it? It says bar.
There.
Okay,
Wow, you did it.
that's your cartoon cat.
That's the mascot.
That's your cartoon charismatic contemplative cat, Camilla.
We'll probably change it by the next episode.
Jesus,
Anyway,
it's
let's
very
get to business.
intimidating.
I apologize. Let's get to business because this is a shorter episode.
Go ahead.
No, I'm waiting for you to start.
Business.
Oh my
You call it this? I do business, huh?
God. Try.
Welcome, Kylo Sierra Alpha. I'm an Irish woman. Good guess, Flamer. She
Well,
loves
all right then.
What do Flamer? I'm curious what you think about Depp's Irish accent. He's done it a few times.
But I want you
Cer
to compare Depp's Irish accent to Brad Pitt's Irish accent.
Depp's is really good. I think it's really good. I mean, that's my opinion. She might think it sucks. I think it's good. Brett, you talk about Devil's Own?
Yes.
One of the worst, maybe one of the worst foreign lilts in the history of cinema. Oh, I can't believe you brought that up.
I have to
Him and
pull.
Harrison Ford back to. I remember that street fight in this. They had
Yeah,
the
that's a
two of
really,
them.
really, really
It's
bad,
so
bad,
bad.
bad.
It's so bad. And they're hugging each other at the end. It's so. J.I. Young, welcome, sir. Vince dipped his hair into soy sauce during the UFC merger to look younger. That's so funny. Vince McMahon, we're talking about. Sara played a clip of him before. In every interview, they pretended to not notice the jet black hair and mustache on an 80-year-old man.
Well, the mustache is more disturbing. It was like a whole German, if you get my drift there, German theme going on with the mustache.
There he is. There's G Canada. Three-eyed. So sad. The USA is the only well-developed country that doesn't have universal health care. It's insane. The wealthiest country in the history of the world, and you can't get coverage. He's spot on, G Canada. Well said, sir. Couldn't agree more. Canada's got it figured out. They really do. Canuck, did you put those fires out? Do you have to rebuild your igloo after it melts?
Cooper's on my side.
I'm not. I'm on the side of three-eyed catfish getting care.
Oh, me too.
America's got its problems. Let's not act like it's perfect because it isn't.
Catfish moving with me. I'll get you set up on my work insurance.
It was cataracts. Got expensive for all three.
Oh,
My vision's really bad too. I couldn't if I didn't have contact lenses. I wouldn't be able to get out of a parking lot. I can't see stop signs. I can't see like really, really bad. Like blind. Like one step away from like disabled. Bad vision.
wouldn't that be disabled if you're blind?
I guess so.
I think you should go after certain benefits for your issue.
Riley couldn't get his leg fixed. Yeah, thanks, Ace. I think
Yeah.
that's what it was about. I didn't even hear that when it originally aired. My vision. I'm a conspiracy theorist in some way, and I don't think this is too deep. We should, at this point in 2023, we should have. We all know the eye chart, right? It's got 10 levels. We all know the visions. I know my contact lens subscription is -525 or something, -550, which is like hard. One of the worst you could be is an eye chart, right? You should be able at this point go into like Walmart, Target, whatever, and buy contact lenses over the counter. No, there's no doctor. You don't need to get measured for it. Glasses should be all available. If I went out when something happened to me, like I ripped the lens, I'd be done. I couldn't get home. I couldn't get That's a serious shit. And I'm not even you should be able to walk into any goddamn store and buy them over the counter without any the doctors have some weird thing where they need you to get prescriptions and measure it every 5 minutes so they're not cut out. You don't need them. If you could mass produce, we all know the eye chart. You know what your glasses are. They should have them on a fucking rack spinning around that you could buy them for $20 if you needed to, if in a pinch.
I
You don't
agree.
need a goddamn eye appointment for every goddamn time you want to put. That's absolute horseshit. And they know it. And they know it. That's where I hate America and stuff like that. Really was the greatest. I agree. Johnny as A1. Oh wow. Given him Flamer said Johnny Depp has an A1 as a Dublin guy. I think we're talking about Shock a lot in his 15 minutes saving that movie with Juliette Binoche. And he's obsessed with fucking Shane McGowan too.
Who's
And
not in good
and the
shape right now,
Pogues and
apparently, but when has he been lately?
Brad Pitt in Snatch is excellent. Yeah, he got a lot of praise for Snatch as a traveler. You can't understand
I
them.
like Brad Pitt.
I
I
like him too.
think physically, I think he looks better now than he did. But acting wise, I've never had a problem with him. But Devil's Own was a new level.
Brad Pitt does the most. I said this in comparison with Depp, as Depp's bad decisions mount in terms of cinematic bad artistic decisions. His bad decisions mount. Brad Pitt does the most with the talent he has, with the limit, and I think it's somewhat limited. Like Depp is kind of like this kind of virtuoso chameleon who can do leading man stuff and character actor stuff, and there's really not a lot of limits to what he can't do. I do think he's odd when he plays a normal guy. That's never that convincing.
I think he could play a normal guy now.
He seems bored is what happens, and because you're so used to going crazy characterization wise and character wise that when he plays something in Nick of Time or The Tourist or he looks straight up bored. Did he look bored to you, Sarah, in The Professor?
I see. I don't think so. I enjoyed the professor. I didn't notice that he was bored.
Did he look bored to you? See, that's a great. We just thought of a great idea for a show. Not to pat myself on the back. Does Depp look bored? And
Does
we're gonna
Depp
go
look
through.
bored? I can imagine. Does Depp look bored? Part 6.
We're gonna go through his whole filmography, and we're gonna highlight the movies where his heart is just not in it. Starting with 21 Jump Street season 3 and 4.
Oof.
And maybe go through like a few episodes to highlight it. But you can go through the movies. You could see where his heart's not in it. Was he too restrained? Was he too? By the way, your performance, Sarah, of Christie Dembrowski Depp, as a, I'm sure I'm not the first one to say this, but I feel like I made this up. You put the B in subtle doing that.
You are the first to say that. The only to say that. But thanks.
Flamered says Devil's Own is crap, but Tom Cruise is also really bad. That's a great reference, Flamered. Far and away. Far and away. Nicole
Really bad.
Kidman, and that's how they met, right? Kidman
Yeah.
and Cruise.
Well, no. They met on the race car movie.
How many? Oh shit, that's Thunder.
Yeah.
Thunder.
Jesus
God,
Christ.
what is it with Robert Duvall?
Days of Thunder.
Days of Thunder.
I almost said Thunder in Paradise.
How many? What's Tom Cruise's dance card? The bearded dance card. We'll say we've got Mimi Rogers, right, in Scientology. We have Nicole Kidman. We
There's
have
a few others.
Katie Holmes, Penelope Cruz.
There's a few in between.
Who else?
I can't think of them right now. I'm sure he's dating some Scientologist person right now because that's what they try every time with him.
Is Haley Atwell,
I don't know
who plays
person.
Peggy Carter in the Captain America films?
I don't know that person.
She did the shitty Mission Impossible movies he's doing now. Were they considered a couple for like 5 minutes?
Maybe.
He's way too chummy, and she's way too happy to be in that piece of crap. How do you go from Captain America to that? I just like, no, that's okay. That's okay. I got my action out with that. I'm not doing fucking Mission Impossible. Obviously, it's a paycheck, but I don't give a shit. It's the worst. I can't believe there's 8 of those. Richard Gere in The Jackal is the worst Irish accent since PCP.
I've heard that. I haven't gotten to experience the horrific stylings of Richard Gere in a while, so I did miss The Jackal. Yep. Who else is in The Jackal?
I don't know. I can't remember.
There was another name.
I didn't really see it.
Tell me.
I've seen the poster and box. I never watched it. I know it. I certainly know what it is. It's one of those things you see the poster and the box for it all the time, but you never actually watch it.
You want to talk about overrated? Richard Gere.
Yeah, he definitely is.
I got nowhere else to go.
He can be good occasionally, but he's definitely overrated. He was good in something called Mr. Jones, where he played a bipolar guy, and that was a pretty good portrayal of. Yeah, G Canada, it's the worst. I have the worst eyes you could have without actually being blind. It's you can't. Thank you, Hooper. He goes exactly on. I'm a contact wearer, and it's so if Hooper goes out on his boat, right, and a contact lens falls off, he's done. He's in the middle of the Long Island Sound, going to from Connecticut to Port Jefferson is where Hooper drives. He can't wait to have his first coffee break. If he loses a contact lens, he's done in the middle of the Long Island Sound. And he should be able to get into Port Jeff and buy one at any given drugstore or big store.
StreamYard looks weird to me right now.
Flamered's right. You can get glasses online if you have the prescriptions. The point is, have your prescription and have it, memorized so you can do what Flamer is saying. If you could find those online glasses site, she's right. You have that thing like your social security number. Have it memorized. If your eyes are as bad as mine are, and they are bad, and they got worse as time went on. I remember playing basketball in high school, and my eyes started to get really bad in those years, and it was like I was looking at 3 rims when I was shooting. and then I put the lenses on. It was like the best I ever played, like in a 2-week span of just like, everything was all clear. I'm not a jump shooter anyway, but everything was just, I couldn't believe that I took that for so long. It just got right around like 10th, 11th grade, my eyes started to get really bad. I don't know. It was like they were bad in elementary school and middle school, but they got really bad in high school.
Mm-hmm. Were you going to be a cop?
I was, yeah, and I got disqualified from the eye test. Shot me down
Well, I'm
at
happy.
18.
I'm happy about that. 'Cause I wouldn't want you going out in the line of duty.
It was
But
only going to work if I was going to make demands right out of the gate. If I'm only going to do the 21 Jump Street thing, or I quit.
or I want a desk job.
I want a desk job, or I want to be in the 21 Jump Street force, or I quit.
You're the opposite of every TV cop. Oh, I can't do desk duty, Sarge.
I would
That's
just
all I would
I
want
would
to
do everything to sabotage myself and do desk duty.
We need you out on the beat,
I want to crack
John.
wise like I'm on Barney Miller. I want to be Blowfish.
Mm. I'll mop the jail cell behind my desk, but I'm not gonna hit the road or go
I
out
think
on
the
the beat.
Taurus is down to chemistry between him and Angelina. She's so right.
Yeah.
Flamer's so right. They have absolutely zero chemistry. And for years, we had always, oh my God, can we get Johnny Depp and Angelina Jolie in the same movie? They kind of have the same kind of mystique about them a little bit. He's got her by, I think, 12 or 13 years. They're not the same age.
Like
They're not the
they're
same
both
demographic.
they're the opposite version of the other in the too cool for the room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
She met him when she was in her teens, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like a fangirl thing. They had not even, I had never even seen them in the same room until that movie came along. And there's like these weird things that he and Vanessa were hanging out with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. And his relationship with Brad Pitt's kind of bizarre. It's kind of off and on. Like people because they're always competing for, their names always come up for the same shit. So their names are always being lumped in together. They had that one scene, and they were in 21 Jump Street in season 2. We all know, the Suicide episode.
Suicide.
Suicide, right?
Suicide. It's like you pronouncing Spokane as Spokane.
Oh, I said Suicide because it's even more. It takes you more off the algorithm.
Okay.
That episode was really, really hard hitting, and I can't wait to get to it. Tackling Suicide like they did with the AIDS. I know you're a big AIDS gal, you and Kathy
I love
Scott.
AIDS. I love AIDS. I
And
don't know a lot about it, but I love it.
I think the Taurus was down to yes. Some of the worst A-list chemistry in the history of motion pictures, and that's a good topic one day to bandy about. Who has the worst chemistry in A-list that they thought it was going to be a good idea and it just didn't work? And that's, the Taurus is a movie of Depp bored, not into it. And did you know he was up for Mr. and Mrs. Smith? He
I
turned
think
it down.
I think you talked about that here.
Yes.
You know what he looks like in the tours to me? He looks like a CGI hologram, or whatever you call it, of
Yeah.
bearded Eddie Vedder.
Yes.
It's like he's not really there. He just looks fake.
Yes. Perfectly stated, Sarah.
Thank you,
You'll
honey.
never convince me that he wasn't going for Eddie Vedder in that movie.
Yeah, it's so weird. But
And
I love them
Cobain.
both, and I'd be in that sandwich any day.
And Cobain in Secret Window.
Okay.
A lot of people don't realize that the director of Secret Window is also the director of Mordecai,
Ugh.
David Koepp. He's also the screenplay writer of Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of weird, right?
I'm not a big fan of Secret Window. I know that's blasphemous in these parts, but I can't apologize.
Do you think he looks bored in that?
I was bored during that, but
Do you think he looks bored eating Doritos and drinking Mountain Dew?
sometimes it's like you can mistake, and he can pull this off. To me, if he looks, some would say he looks bored. That's the type of actor he is, so he can get away with it.
He's
in
trying to
my
do
eyes.
subtlety. He's trying to do, look, I'm restrained. The word is restrained.
Mm-hmm.
Film snobs use when they're trying to justify why someone's not very animated or interesting or low energy. Oh, look, he actually got that critique in Finding Neverland. He was too restrained. That was like, why are you nominated for an Academy Award? You're just too damn subtle in this. Like he was up against guys really chewing the scenery, and I don't think Finding Neverland is one of his strongest. It's okay. It's like maybe slightly above average,
Yeah,
but
it's
that's
probably not
not.
even in the top 10 of movies I would have nominated him for.
I'm talking about just straight performance.
No, I understand.
Yeah, yeah. To say that that gets nominated and Black Mass doesn't is insane.
But that was just like a legacy nomination.
Well, that was his third one, Sarah. No, I'm
Mhm.
sorry. No, I'm sorry. That was the second one. Uh, Sweeney Todd was the third one.
Okay.
Pirates 1 was the first one.
See, I would go with Sweeney Todd even over Pirates.
I would. No. The Jack
I
Sparrow.
would.
The first Jack Sparrow was revolutionary that you could pull that off in the way that he did and create it from the ground up, and that's like masterclass in what an actor like really digging in and being creative and doing it in a pirate genre that has no business ever being nominated in an award situation.
A movie based on a Disney ride.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy he could pull that off in the first one.
You know, it
I'll give him
sucks.
3, but I ain't giving him 4 and 5, and I'm certainly not giving him 6.
While I've thoroughly enjoyed the Pirates movie, I spent a lot of money on merchandise for that. This is long before I knew you, of course. Anybody know those 18-inch NECA dolls? They're worth a shitload of money now. I had every version of Johnny Depp in every Depp movie. I had the Keith Richards NECA doll from Pirates, and currently they are sitting over in my ex's house while it goes through probate because he passed away, and I have no claim to any of his stuff. So I think about that movie and I just think about, oh wow, I have all this merchandise I've lost.
That's
Even more
crazy.
depressing. What a month it's been, let me tell you.
Yeah, Flamered says that the winner of worst is Sean Connery and Darby O'Gill. I want to see Flamer do an American accent. That's what I want to hear. Flamer, if you can record yourself doing an American accent, I would love to hear your attempt at it. You ever hear Kate Winslet do an American accent? It's like better than my accent.
Well, she's supposed to have a better accent than you in
You,
anything. She's paid to do so.
you've heard it. Speaking of Finding Neverland, you've heard it here first. I think Kate Winslet might have the most impressive career out of anyone in Hollywood, including men. And you know how much I hate men.
Okay.
And I'm talking about performance versus performance, movie per movie, selection, performance, blah, blah, blah. Nothing embarrassing, nothing. It's very, very hard to find chinks in her armor if you go through. I mean, I know, leave Dustin, Gwen, and Minima
I
out of
thought
this.
you were going somewhere else and I laughed and I shouldn't have.
But I'm going to place her in the top. She might be number 1. She's in the top 3 most impressive permeating careers with the least amount of embarrassments
I'm
in
so
her
bored by
IMDb.
her.
I why?
I don't know. I thought she was boring in
Period, because of
Titanic.
period pieces, right? She's
I
in a
s-
she's in a series on what is it called? Anyone watch this? She's playing a
no.
Pennsylvania district attorney or something. I heard it's really good, and I haven't seen. I've been kind of looking to watch it, and I haven't gotten around to it.
Well, there's a reason. If she really was your favorite, you would watch it.
I'm not saying she's my very favorite, but I'm saying she's up there. But she has the most impressive career with the least amount of embarrassment. She's managed her career with her talent as well as anybody in all of Hollywood. It's really difficult to do to go that long and not have embarrassment after embarrassment.
You know what I think about when you say Kate Winslet? And I know another story. I just think about how lucky she was to film Titanic, a topless scene in Titanic, being so young.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all I'm
that's
going to
how like
say.
when you're topless in that movie, she opened the floodgates like you have no like when actresses say I have a no nudity clause and I'm not going to stoop to that. If Kate Winslet can do it, you can do it. Right?
Well,
Right, Jennifer Love Hewitt?
the position she was posing in, for a real woman, those would roll down, in the armpit and or maybe off the side of that little chaise she's laying on. But lucky for her, she looked great, and that's all I care about in that
She
movie.
has breasts like Leonardo DiCaprio's arms, his triceps. The way they droop. He's skinny fat and he actually has granny arms. He is the arms of Danny Manning, Leonardo DiCaprio.
I don't get the comparison between her chest and his arms, but all right.
What? No, I'm saying that's not even. It's not even. It's a compliment to Kate Winslet and an insult to DiCaprio. And Hooper never leaves home without his extra contact lenses. It is the best advice you can give anyone. Never ever leave home. At least, and Hooper, at least one lens, right? It's better than two is great, but even if you just had one lens, at least one might rip, and then you could, if your eyes are the same, and mine aren't. One eye is worse than another one with me, but they're close enough. I could get by with the wrong lens.
Does it get worse for you? Is it degenerative?
I don't know how much worse it could get, Sarah. I don't know
Yeah.
how much worse it can get,
Does
other
it
than
seem
being
worse
straight up.
than it used to be?
It seems worse than it was 10 years ago. Yeah, like I can't
Mm.
see, like if it's a 60-inch TV, I can't see like a font of 55. It would be like, what is
You
it?
need to contact somebody from the government and get your proper due. You
Well,
qualify.
how about this, that corrective surgery should be covered? Why are we
I
playing
agree
games
with
with, we
you.
have the technology, it's been around for 20 something years.
You're trying to debate it with the wrong person. I
I'm
agree
not
with you.
debating it. I can't believe we still have this problem. I can't believe we're still dealing
Mhm.
with lenses and stuff. Finding Neverland is nominated because J.M. Barrie dedicated all the royalties. She knows her shut. This Flamebird knows her cinema. Good God. Dedicated all the royalties from Peter Pan to Great Ormond's Children's Hospital. I remember that, reading that somewhere, and I kind of dismissed it. That's how it works, Sarah. The quid pro quo, right? When things get nominated, you're like, it's also a Weinstein movie, Flamer. Did you know the power he had over Oscar? What type?
Mhm.
What type of accent do you want Flamer to do, Sarah? Philadelphia accent, the Delaware Philadelphia accent.
No, no, no. She's asking what accent Kate is able to portray because there are
Everyone.
different regions. Okay.
She's doing a Philly accent supposedly in this series, and I still don't know the title of it. Again, I haven't watched it, so it's not embarrassing that I don't know. I can't pull the title out, but I do plan on seeing it. I love Kate Winslet as a redhead in the '90s. Yeah, she actually, right. She makes red hair look very good. She can pull off brunette, blonde, and redhead equally.
Mhm.
Very few can. Kate Winslet, Mars of
Oh,
Easttown. Thank you, Hooper. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's right. So Easttown is it a fictitious Philly, the kind of Pennsylvania town, or is it really exist? Easttown. It's just a generic name. Excellent whodunit show. Her boobs are spectacular in Hooper says in Titanic. DiCaprio catching shrapnel, being an upper arm shamed. That did not did not see that coming. He's granny arms, right? So he's Danny Manny arms.
he
Danny
has
Manning
granny
granny arms.
body.
And skinny fat.
Like he never reached puberty.
Oh no, Flamered wants to do a U.S. accent.
Yeah, I know. I was wrong. First time
Uh,
for everything.
let's pick one that's not New York because we're sick of picking in New York. That's the most obvious one. Let's do
Southern. I want Southern.
Philadelphia, Delaware is good. That's not easy to
Mm,
do. So Southern is not. You could kind of do. Is there one that's unique? How about Michigan, Wisconsin, that kind of
Minnesota.
thing? Yeah, Minnesota. How about that one, Flamer? That'd be good. Fuji Vice. That's Brendan. There's
Yes, I
Brendan,
know.
Sarah. Speaking of wrestling,
Mhm.
wrestling always makes its Boston accents good, Hooper. Usually, Red Hooded Woman is haggard by 35. It's hard for them to look good as they. Gee, Canada, you son of a bitch.
Gee,
It's
Canada,
so
you really shouldn't be talking about anybody with those hemorrhoids you're sporting.
it's so funny because everything we've covered is a story in some capacity that I have. So let's start this. Speaking of Harvey Weinstein and Finding Neverland, do people know? And we always say how horrible Depp's friends are, and Harvey Weinstein's, but he's Oscar bait. The guy is the formula to get nominated to schmaltzy period pieces. There's a lot of people know that Depp wrote a tribute to Harvey Weinstein in 2012 for People magazine's most influential. Let me get rid of this.
Play the trigger warning.
No, okay, you want to do that?
And then exit quickly.
About the acting performance from the broad who was curled up in the bed.
I know.
Did she do it for that, or was that something taken from somewhere else?
No, that is actually a muted clip of some broad in the fetal position. I'm going to have to take the crying out because it's so annoying.
Now tell me if you see this.
Yes.
It says what?
Harvey Weinstein.
Most what?
Most influential people, 2012.
As written by
Monsieur Depp.
Johnny Depp writes a tribute, very short. I mean, it might have been edited for Time magazine. People, Harvey wants. So this is the relationship these two had. That he was chosen to do that. We showed you the thing from the Don Rickles tribute with Depp and Weinstein are sitting together. They have he has the worst friends in the world. He's the worst tasting, and this is one of them. If you didn't think Depp didn't know how some of this Weinstein stuff was going on, you're crazy. That he keeps company like Beachy Coldclea and what we read about him and his fucking psychology, his therapy practices. So if you don't think that Depp knew some of the Weinstein stuff, you're fucking crazy. What could he do about it? Nothing. But you don't. There's not a shot in hell he's not aware of some of the casting couch bullshit, as he had with Amber Heard, right? I mean, how different is the Amber Heard stuff, right? Casting couch wise, is it really
Well,
that
her
different?
version, yeah.
Right? There are this is by Depp. Okay, so there are producers and there are producers. Harvey belongs to the latter batch. It's an elite club with those kind of maverick vision to bring such disparate films as Pulp Fiction, Kids, Finding Neverland, and upteen others to the screen with equal fucking I can't say like without laughing with equal aplomb. Over the past 25 years, American independent film has seen no better advocate than the man from Flushing, New York. I want to see Depp in Flushing, New York, Cooper. I want to see Depp at fucking Shea Stadium, Flushing, New York. Has Depp ever been to Flushing? Actually, he might have.
Not on
If I'm not
purpose.
mistaken, Don Juan DeMarco was shot in Queens to some extent. That's actually, he might have been close to Flushing. From Flushing, New York. Did you know, Sarah, the Jets used to play in Shea Stadium
You
in the early
probably told me that during one of your rants.
it remains. I can't believe they still share a stadium with the Giants. Isn't that just the worst? The two supposed New York teams do not play in New York. The Buffalo Bills are the only New York team. Now 60. It remains as relevant. So Weinstein is now 11 years plus 71
17.
in jail. What prison is he in, Sarah? Can we
I
visit
don't
him?
know. I don't write him. I don't know.
We should visit him and see if he has dirt on see if he has stories about that. Now 60. It remains as relevant as ever. The artist following in Victoria's footsteps of the English patient and the King's speech. More recently, Harvey lent vehement support to the documentary Bully, an important film in an age where such a concept has almost been forgotten. Now, no one gets to the top without the occasional scrap. While he's certainly the charming servant to the film he purports to be, Harvey isn't afraid of a duke him out, and I've had the pleasure of being both his ally and his enemy at various times. He stops at nothing for what he believes in. He can be your most frightening nightmare or your closest friend. But above all, he is a producer. That's how he is. It's the Thompson prose, right? Another shit
Mhm.
friend Depp has is what's his name? Allen Ginsberg, who is a huge pedo, huge fucking
Oh,
monster
really?
pedo. Yeah, he's one of the beat writers. He's a
Yeah, I
huge,
know.
huge pedo. Um, that you know what the dust up is over? That stupid
Uh,
Libertine movie, which he
oh,
already
yes.
made in the early 2000s. I don't know why we need a second one. Hey, Flamer, do you know why there was going to be a second Libertine? Why do we need two of these things? He did it. It got released. It's a fucking boring ass period piece. It's one of my least favorite movies he's ever done. Why do we need a second one? What is this dust up that he couldn't get another libertine? Why do we need another? Why I don't want one libertine. Why are we doing a second one? What is that shit? Does anyone know why we needed a second libertine? It
Because
has bothered me for
that's
so long.
what he wanted to do.
Fuck him.
That's I'm not saying it's
I'm
right.
taking the decisions away from him. It's
I know
over.
you are. You're almost in. You're almost part of the entourage.
Hooper hears the ice switching, by the way, Sarah.
I have as well throughout this entire show, but it's charming.
That was 2012. And we had, you remember the thing I read? I don't know if I read it. Depp actually was in the great Stephen Roderick article where Depp was talking about hanging out with Weinstein, picking up his daughter, and he called him Shrek. Remember that?
I do.
Or G. Canada looks like Harvey Weinstein's sister. That's a compliment. You too. Cog in the works here. JD is one of these people who gets the best out of everyone. Also, Polanski and Walken. I think AH was literally karma. That's interestingly said. Do you think JD escaped the casting couch himself?
I've wondered that because, like the Nightmare era.
With gay producers or women?
Yeah, I'm thinking when he comes in as this young, doe-eyed, hairless, young gentleman. You know, I'm sure he caught the eye of many weirdo. And things were asked. Who knows if he agreed?
We all know about the gay producers. Do you know? Does anyone know who Scott Rudin is? He's a super producer who works with Burton. He's evidently gay, and I
Okay.
wonder if he is largely, frothing over Depp and casting things, and he just keeps. Not that he doesn't deserve to work in all these movies. I'm just saying that's a great question. If there's gay producers and the casting couch with him, that's a really good. I've never heard anybody pose that before. Flamered says, I love the Libertine. I just don't know. I don't know what they didn't cover with it. It's envisioned as a 2-part. Is it really? It didn't say part 2 in the other one, but I didn't need to see part 1, and I don't want to see. And Depp was like angry it never got made. Don't worry about it. Don't even see it. Don't even see it.
I've never even thought to like
Don't worry about
IMDb it to get the plot. I don't care.
Wigs and period pieces and boredom, and don't worry about it. He's like a promiscuous, fucking, privileged. I don't care.
Does he have a lot of sex in it?
Not that that's not erotic.
How do you know?
Depp's almost asexual in movies. He's not good in sex. He doesn't. And that's a credit to him. He actually avoids. He just does. It's not his thing. He feels stupid, as Kurt Cobain would say, and it's not his thing, and he avoids it and the cliches of all that. And I get, even though Don Juan DeMarco, that's kind of the point of it, but he really is not. That's one. He just it doesn't work for him. He just feels off and wrong, and he avoids them.
I'd like him
and sex scenes don't work.
I would like him to try though, and I will grade him accordingly.
Brendan says it perfectly here, Sarah. This is just perfect. Depp's friendship with Marilyn Manson has still aged worse than his friendship with Harvey Weinstein. I couldn't agree more. And I think Depp and Amber Heard have better chemistry than Depp and Marilyn Manson, I might add, Brendan. I would go as far to say that. And I hope Marilyn Manson goes down hard. I hope the women keep coming at him. I hope everything is taken away. He's the worst thing of everything, all. And Sarah, I know that you're a huge Trent Reznor fan, and he agrees with us.
I know he does.
No way did Johnny put out for those creepers and not buying it. No, he didn't put out Hooper. I'm just saying they're frothing. The gay producers are frothing at the.
I would imagine he was approached looking the way he did.
Could be.
In 1984.
Had to have been. Had to have been.
I think by the time he got to Jump Street, he had a little bit too much power to be approached in that manner.
This is Flamer's just like you, Sarah. Flamer24 says he's beautiful. He still is. The first time I saw him, I was only 10. I can only describe him as beautiful. That's the first time you saw him too, right?
Yes, that's correct. 10. And I was going to be his girlfriend. I don't care if he was mid-20s.
Depp should have been a Napoleon than Phoenix. A better Napoleon than Phoenix. Joaquin Phoenix. Joaquin's got a good career. Joaquin's got a really good career. He's developed quite an impressive little resume himself there. Not for everybody, but he's done the most. Like I said about Brad Pitt, he's done the most with the opportunities he's been given. There's no way Rivers' career would have been as good as Joaquin's is now. By the
Hmm.
way, I know it's not fashionable to say we have to like do the thing where you worship the guy who died.
Yeah.
There's no way Rivers' career would have been as impressive as Joaquin's is now. There's not a
I,
chance.
I absolutely. He was already on the way down. He was. What was that last movie he was filming? Do you remember? I know it was more like a B movie.
Well, the last thing I remember him in was not that it was the last thing he did was Sneakers. With remember the Robert Redford, that huge cast, and
Hmm.
Dan Aykroyd and stuff. I don't know what the last one was.
Yeah, I don't even care.
I can't remember. I know it's gonna hit me if I do see it, but I probably said it, but I don't remember if it got. I told you. Did I tell you that he was up for Gilbert Grape? He was the first offer to
Hmm.
Gilbert. He was. It was not Depp. River Phoenix was offered Gilbert Grape, and somehow there's this weird conspiracy that Depp was facilitating his death so he could do Gilbert Grape.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird theories going on around the Viper Room death.
But he actually makes more sense as DiCaprio's brother than Depp does
Hmm.
because he's closer in age. Like Phoenix is, I think, 3 or 4 years older than DiCaprio is,
I think he
and
looks
Depp
more
is
like him
10
too.
years older than him.
Yeah.
And he actually looks like. Do you think he resembles DiCaprio more than Depp does?
I think absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I could see that. Makes total sense. He was offered Gilbert Grape, River Phoenix. We're talking about.
What's the one thing Phoenix and Depp had in common at that point, other than being friends?
I always thought that Hollywood hair, like the floppy cowlick, that um Indian blood, maybe.
No, I was talking about heroin.
Oh, okay. But that's
They were both doing heroin at that point.
Johnny Meyer. There he is. Who was going to do that Anne Rice film? I forgot the name of it. Brad Pitt took the Interview with a Vampire.
Well, if it's the Brad Pitt role, yeah, probably.
Interview with a Vamp. That makes a lot of sense, Johnny. That's probably exactly what it was. I think I did read that. I haven't gone over it in a while, but that has to be what it is. Yeah, Gilbert Grape was a hard shoot to do. He had just broken up with Winona Ryder. He had a fling with Juliet Lewis on that, and it led to an intervention. Flamer. I don't know if you listen to the show every time, but we talked about there was an intervention at Tracy Jacobs' house, and it was right after the filming of Gilbert Grape, and you could see, right, Sarah? What do you call his skin on that? He looks like he's half dead.
Translucent.
Yeah, translucent in Gilbert Grape, and it's
Well,
very.
Juliet Lewis is always like the bargain market version of Winona Ryder.
Who dated Brad Pitt for a while, right? How long were
Yes,
they
in
together for?
California. Great movie, by the way. Years, I think.
Speaking of DiCaprio, see this?
Sadly,
Okay.
yes.
So this is speaking of Gilbert Grape. This is crazy. I just have this. This is not. This is a coincidence. I just bring. It wasn't a natural segue attempt by me. I'm not even good at that. This is I've talked about this a little bit. So this is DiCaprio before he becomes this rarefied, oh, he's mysterious and nobody knows anything about him. And I think I do believe in that gay theory that it's all beards and they're setting him up with. It's almost like he's doing like um movie star cosplay on the
Mm.
boat with the models, and it just seems like it's very
It's
forced
try.
and
It's try hard.
very right. And you don't seem so. So this is kind of an anecdote by Arushi Sivravastava on the set of Gilbert Grape. This came out today. I just happened to just before we went on here. This popped up on my feed. Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the biggest stars in Hollywood who has grandmother arms and has played as skinny fat and has played numerous iconic roles and is massively overrated. In the cinematic industry, the Oscar winner enjoys a massive fan following for his fabulous acting in movies like The Great Gatsby, overrated, The Wolf of Wall Street, overrated, Catch Me If You Can, overrated, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, overrated, and more. The star started his career at 20 when he worked in the film with What's Eating Gilbert Grape. He was once confronted by his co-star Johnny Depp for the habit he was hiding from his mother. And here it is.
Oh God.
How hideous does he look here? What is with the smoking in Hollywood? It's so fucking hackneyed and tired, and how somehow cancer is immune And I believe in that lung cleaning thing. I think there's an operation where you can get your lungs cleaned out. These guys can't be smoking 2 packs of cigarettes and just be immune to the effect. And that goes for marijuana, too, by the way. It's smoke, and it counts. DiCaprio is very close to his mother. Hence, when a photographer clicked him buying cigarettes, he made a deal with him to hide it from his mother.
Grow up.
DiCaprio did not want his mother to know about the smoking. Don't look
smoke.
up the Don't Look Up star. DiCaprio is often seen smoking cigarettes and cigars now in his movies, though it depicts his style. There was once a time when he did not want anyone to know that he smoked. It was the early days when DiCaprio was trying his hand at acting. He's been a kid actor. He's always been an actor. He's never been anything else. What do you think? He worked at 7-Eleven in high school? He's never done anything but acting. He also had started smoking around the time. However, did he have a paper route, Sarah? No. No. Did he work at JD Greenery like Brendan Lang? No. He also, with Jim Bartlett, no. He also had started smoking around the time. However, his mother did not know about it. Photographer Steve Eichner had written in his book In the Limelight, the visual ecstasy of the New York City nightlife. Do you remember the Pussy Posse, Sarah? Him and his
Refresh my
twink
memory.
friends. DiCaprio and his twin friends.
Yeah.
Toby
Yeah.
Maguire,
Yep,
Lucas
that's the one I think
Haas.
about.
Yeah. It was a double entendre meeting. These guys were going after women, but they were also pussies at the same time. It was the visual ecstasy of New York City life in the 90s, about the 1990s scene. In the book, he shared that the Departed star had made a deal with him. He's ridiculous in The Departed, by the way. When he plays a tough guy, it is laughable. It is unwatchable when he tries to play a tough guy. With him one night at the 1994 at the Club USA during a party for Nicolas Cage and Dennis Hopper thriller, The Red Rock West. I don't even know that movie. Doesn't his mom look like Ellen Barkin, Sarah?
I don't know what she looks like.
Ellen Barkin.
All right.
Look at that. Look at
It
the
looks
teeth.
like Martha Stewart and Ellen Barkin. had a baby.
Yes, good, Sarah, good. Steve Eichner recalled that at Peter Gation's club venue, Eichner got a shot of DiCaprio, who would have been about 20 at the time. The actor made his debut in the film. He didn't make not his debut. He worked before. Can we bring up Growing Pains, please? With Johnny Depp around that same time. In the photo, he was buying something from a cigarette and candy girl, but he couldn't tell what it was, he shared. Leo came over and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Hey, man, can you do me a favor and please don't use that photo? You can take photos of me. You can take photos of me, but don't get me smoking." When the photographer asked why he didn't want the picture to go public, DiCaprio told him, "I was buying cigarettes and I don't want my mom to know that I smoke." DiCaprio is very close with his mother, Ermeline Eidenberken. I think that was George Young's mom's name was Ermine in Blow. Something like that. It's close to that.
Would you say that his constant cycling through young women says something about his relationship with his mother?
No. I think he's just a spoiled brat who has too much access, and he doesn't know he's got a Peter Pan sexual complex, and he thinks that the hip thing is to be with, and he thinks he's 25. I'm not doing that mother shit at all. DiCaprio worked with Pirates of the Caribbean star Johnny Depp in the film What's Eating Gilbert Grape, and it was his breakout film of DiCaprio when he was just a young lad. In 2016, at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival, Johnny Depp recalled an anecdote about a young co-star Leonardo DiCaprio about smoking. He shared that the actor would pester him all day on the set of What's Eating Gilbert Grape for a puff of his cigarette. However, it wasn't cigarettes, was it, Sarah? It was heroin. That would be great if DiCaprio said, "I wanted heroin," and he wouldn't give it to me. However, Depp refused him blatantly. "No, it will not give you a drag of my cigarettes while you hide from your mom, Leo." The anecdote confirmed the photographer's claim in his book. Reportedly, many years ago, DiCaprio helped the Batman star Robert Pattinson quit smoking by diverting him onto e-cigarettes. So, do you remember that? Do you know that story, Sarah?
I don't remember that story.
Yeah. The Gilbert Grape set has a lot of good stuff on it. That's worth revisiting. If they do like a documentary on I think there's a lot of stuff that came out of that movie. By the way, the sisters in that movie were really good, and it's a shame we don't hear from them again. His older sister and his younger sister in that film. You didn't even see the movie. I don't know why I'm asking you. I can't. You're not going to be able to take it. I think your redneck side is going to make you cry if you see that movie.
I cry during the clips I watch of DiCaprio. I can't watch that movie.
There is a scene. I'm looking at Brendan right, Dan, the song parody man, the Poonhound. There is a scene, and that movie. It is the to me when someone asks you, "Oh, have you ever cried during a movie? What's the saddest movie?" The scene of Mrs. Grape dying. Her name is Arlene Cates. That was the heavy one.
Mm-hmm.
She's 600 pounds. Of them burning the house down when she passed away in her sleep is
Mm-hmm.
the saddest scene I've ever seen in the history of motion pictures, and it's accompanied by a piano, like a Bruce Hornsby style sort of End of the Innocence piano, and
Mm.
they are overlooking this house in flames. It is brutal, and I defy you to watch it and not tear up.
I couldn't. I won't even try.
The scene just before it where Depp he takes the floorboards out to support his mom because um, John O. C. Riley built him floorboards to support the mom, and he goes nuts. And it is such a tough scene. You know, the movie didn't actually get nominated for any. DiCaprio's the only thing from it that got nominated
You know
for
why? I think
supporting.
sometimes back in the day, it wasn't cool to nominate a weird movie, and that movie was considered weird. Like a lot of Depp's earlier movies weren't nominated because they were strange, and
Well,
they
Ed
just weren't acceptable to the old white farts that were in the Academy.
what was happening was he was almost like the John Stockton of these movies. So it would be like, Martin Landau gets nominated for Ed Wood, and
Mhm.
DiCaprio gets nominated for Gilbert Grape, or Juliette Binoche gets nominated for Chocolat, and he's facilitating it, but he's
Mhm.
not nominated himself.
Yeah,
It
because he
took
was
till
a
Pirates.
weirdo, they thought.
Yeah, right. But there was stuff coming out of these movies, and it wasn't him.
Yeah, but a lot of those, like the Martin Landau, as good as he was, that was a legacy nomination and an award.
I You're probably right. I want to say you're right.
I'm not saying he was.
It was
That was an
it was kind
amazing
of a
performance.
comeback because he hadn't been seen for a while. I mean,
Mhm.
I think Tim Burton was a fan of old Martin Landau, and he just said, "All right, It's kind of what Tarantino does, where he goes, let's bring back Travolta, or let's bring back Robert Ford, let's bring back Pam Grier," and that's kind of what he did. Because I know that you loved Martin Landau and Baps with Halle Berry.
I did. It's my favorite.
Yeah, cosplay is a comic book term, G Canada.
He's
It
going to
means
be
like
blown away by the term LARPing if he's just
I
finding
don't
out what
even know what that
cosplay is.
is.
Live action role playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cosplay comes from out of the comic cons. You're pretending to be like Alpha Flight at a comic book convention, or
Mhm.
you're role playing you're in character the whole time. And that just means like it's taken on a life of its own, like in real life. So when someone does something and it doesn't look authentic, you say, "Oh, you're cosplaying heterosexual," like we say about DiCaprio and Tom
Yeah.
Cruise.
Can I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
How are you doing with your fantasy league?
Oh yeah, make the announcement, Sarah. Well, I
I
can
don't know.
save my
I
voice.
don't know what the status is, so you do it.
I'm looking for a day to do this. I was thinking tomorrow afternoon, but I think it's too soon. I don't think people are ready to do the
Uh,
fantasy draft
okay. Do you
unless
have
we can
enough
get.
people?
I want 14.
How many do you have?
I don't 6 or 8 maybe.
Oh, we need more then.
There's a
Okay.
couple of iffies, and there's a couple of. It's fun. I think my league is the best because I have avant-garde categories like punting and individual defensive
Mhm.
players and categories people don't use,
I've always had fun every time that you do it because I like a lot of points,
and
and
I
it
have
makes me
right
look
all
like I know
everything
what I'm
counts.
doing.
Everything counts. Every
Mhm.
move everybody makes counts.
Yeah. G Canada fantasy draft for what? It's for the NFL,
Football. Yeah,
silly.
I'd love to have G Canada in it.
Yeah.
That'd be great. How are you? How much of an NFL? G Canada's a big sports fan, but I don't hear him bringing the NFL up too much. He loves the NBA and
Well, he probably
baseball.
thinks football is soccer, so
Well, it's a
it's
Canadian
football.
Football League. Why shouldn't he like that more? Why doesn't he do a Canadian football draft?
Mm, I don't know.
A CFL
It's
fantasy
maybe
league.
it's too boring, the CFL.
Smoking kills the appetite. Yeah, that was a Hollywood thing for a while, as Flamered
I
says.
would rather Depp have a beer gut and cellulite on his thighs, and then smoke the cigarettes he does.
Yeah, he's skinny fat. Make no mistake about it, and it's fine for him. I don't know him for his physique. I could care less if he's skinny or I really don't give a
I
shit.
like a dad bod. I will climb that dad bod like it's
He
sitting in the middle
doesn't
of a
do roles
playground.
that call for a great physique. He just the only time Donnie Brasco, when he worked out with Joe Pistone, he had to bulk up, and it was this thing, he had to eat a lot, and it looked. That's probably the best he's ever looked.
Well,
Is that
him in the pool, that's technically a dad bod, but I would.
that's the best he's ever gonna look.
Yeah. Well, no,
You know,
there's paparazzi shots of him on the damn island. Whew.
with his proclivities and he's not a great physique is not in his cards. It just doesn't. His lifestyle is so antithesis of a great physique in every way. I read an article once, and we were going to do a show on this, and we will someday.
His physique.
Well, no, it was about Deppstein Island, and it was written by
Oh, I know. I even have a thumbnail made for it, and we never did
Yes,
it.
it was you ran the thumbnail, and it was by his friend, him and Thompson's friend Brinkley wrote it for Vanity Fair, and he had like pizza stations,
Oh,
Sarah, fast food stations, like it was incredible, like stuff that's all stuff that not kid food, but just like bar food.
mm,
This pizza, hamburgers, everywhere he stopped, and that was what Brinkley had described. And I'll never forget. He was cruising around in a golf cart, and it was just like these food stations everywhere he went.
and
On Deppstein.
we've compiled like videos of his island that we just never did a show about it. I think maybe we need to do that next.
After this,
Yes, after this.
well, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
He'll always be Gilbert Grape to Johnny Meyer. Johnny Meyer, by the way, is our character actor. He's a working. Johnny Meyer to me is the epitome of the grinded out actor who just fights for every role and has to audition, and he was in, a lot of people don't know this, in our chat right now. He was in fucking City of Lies
Mm-hmm.
and Ed Wood. He has bit
Mm-hmm.
parts in that. You can see. I think Ed Wood you can see him, and I don't think you can see him in City of Lies, but he's in it, and he got paid to be on that set, and I'm jealous of that in every way, shape, and form. But he deserves it, and hopefully he's in something else. Johnny Meyer verifies what an asshole DiCaprio was to him on the set of J. Edgar, and how Armie Hammer was a mensch who plays the Lone Ranger in Depp's Lone Ranger, and that he was a great guy and DiCaprio was a big fucking prick. And Armie Hammer had, I think, more screen time or as much. So it's not like he wasn't busy. He had to do the same responsibility.
And
that's
he's a meat eater.
Yes, he is. Three has always been little too nurturing from a young age. Real life events seem to hit him extremely hard. Yes, three-eyed. I agree with that. Come on, guy. Most guys are rich and famous. Like Leo, you'd bang 20. No, I wouldn't. G Canada. I wouldn't date someone my nephew's age. I do have some kind of. I don't think that way. I think I've seen 20-year-olds today. It is creepy to think that you think of them as peers or mates. It is straight up. You ever see how a young 20-something looks now?
Mm-hmm.
Like 20 or 25. That's not. It's not age. It's fucking straight up. If you can't find someone within, at the most, what does it say? Half your age plus 7. I don't even know if I agree with that. It's just I
Do I
don't
fit into
agree.
that for you? I'm doing the math. Yes, I do. Thank you.
Brendan says, not a name that exactly rolls off the tongue, does it? Ermeline Eidenberg. I didn't want to. I know. I was like saying it like I don't feel like saying this. I started to like trail off when I was saying it. It's more like a machine gun. Is it sad? Yeah, it is way sadder than Titanic. Gilbert Grape, Johnny.
The clips I've seen, yeah, absolutely. And I
way
sobbed like a
sadder.
bitch at Titanic in 1998, whenever it was in the theater. I cried like a bitch. The Leonardo DiCaprio scenes, because it reminds me of my cousin, make me cry harder.
Speaking of dating underage, I can't believe these brilliant segues that I don't. It is not. Just kidding. There's this crazy rumor that I've been avoiding for like a couple weeks, but I'm gonna nail it shut now. I'm gonna address it, and I'm going to see.
Oh God.
Because this Jenna Ortega is a Tim Burton actress, she has now been linked to Depp. She's in the fucking Addams Family remake, so now
Oh God, who
she's
cares?
and this is as close as Tim Burton's ever to get to hiring a minority in a film. She's Hispanic, and she's in the Adams Family thing, and she's 20 years old. That's so great. This is not intentional. This happens to be here, and she has been linked to Depp because she's a Tim Burton actress, and they love Taylor. He is 60, she is 20, and so
She could be
this
his
rumor would not.
granddaughter.
Yes, it can be his granddaughter, and this rumor will not go away. She's actually younger than his son Jack, his youngest
Mm.
son Jack, by a year.
His
It doesn't seem
youngest
like
child.
say this.
You said youngest son.
Johnny
I'm
Depp
just being
addresses those
picky.
Jenna Ortega dating rumors. So this came out like yesterday. I mean, this has been going on for a couple weeks, and I've avoided it because I thought it won't go away. So I'm gonna finally just close this out. It doesn't seem like you'll see Jenna Ortega and Johnny Depp canoodling. Remember the fucking canoodle was a paparazzi word in the
Hmm
90s? God, that was such a big word for about 3 years. Under the canoodling under the moonlight in matching black and white striped outfits from a Tim Burton movie anytime soon. Tim Burton's last muse, Ortega, and his longtime collaborator Depp have both denied rumors they are dating. The tea regarding the two quirky actors who have a 40-year age gap was spilt. This rumor shouldn't even be a rumor. Like it shouldn't even be like was spilled last week by the unverified gossip account
Oh God,
Demir.
they do a lot of the Vanderpump Rules gossip.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's du moi.
Du moi. Is it an American thing or
I don't know,
French?
and I don't care.
A since expired Instagram story on the account claimed Ortega and Depp were spotted on a date. NME reported there was also chatter that the two would be working together on Beetlejuice 2, a Burton project Ortega is already attached to per Variety. In 2024, the 20-year-old actor will play the daughter of Lydia Dietz, who Depp's ex-fiancée Winona Ryder portrayed in the original Beetlejuice film. Are you a fan of the Beetlejuice film, Sarah?
No, I'm really not.
Do you think it's overrated?
Absolutely. It never struck me like it did most of my generation. I don't care.
I was amazed that, and I wonder. I feel like he was offered this, and I feel like he was offered Thomas Wayne, Bruce Wayne's dad. Alec Baldwin is in Beetlejuice, and to me, he is the perfect Batman. If you cast him in the '90s, it doesn't get any more Bruce Wayne than
Hmm
Alec Baldwin in the '90s. And if you watch The Shadow, you'll see.
Yes, I was just gonna say the Shadow Baldwin. Yes,
I like Michael Keaton, but he's not Bruce Wayne. Alec Baldwin is Bruce Wayne. To
Michael
the tilt,
Keaton's my
without even
favorite.
trying. It's not even close. If you're a fan of the comics, if you're a fan of the animated series, Alec Baldwin is Bruce Wayne. It's not even nailed shut. Perfect, perfect, perfect. And John Hamm is who I would cast in the next generation. In a statement, enemy representative for Depp denied he was working on Beetlejuice 2 or getting cozy with Ortega. Mr. Depp, this is from, I believe, I want to say Jack Wiggum will say wrote this. Mr. Depp has no personal or professional relationship with Ortega whatsoever, the representative said. He has never met or spoken with her. And to my knowledge, he hasn't. And I agree with that. And that's why I was scoffing at it. He has never met her, spoken to her. He's not involved in any way or a project with her, nor does he intend to be.
Hmm.
He is appalled by these baseless and malicious rumors that are intended to harm his reputation and career. And
I
why
think
is it
that
harmful? Because she's 20.
yes, I think that's a wonderfully written statement.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Well done, Jack Wiggum. Ortega reportedly responded also swiftly to the rumor that she was dating the 60-year-old actor.
Ugh,
This is them somewhat in modern day.
looks good.
As do you.
I know.
I don't know. According to Emmy, Ortega took to her Instagram last week to shut down this news as quickly as possible, although neither outlet shared a screenshot of her post. Ortega reportedly wrote, "This is so ridiculous, I can't even laugh at it. I have never even met or worked with Johnny Depp in my life. Please stop spreading lies and leave us the fuck alone." Huffington Post reached out to Ortega to confirm her statement, but did not receive an immediate response. For those who are not Instagram scrollers, how do you say it, Sarah? Demir?
De moi.
Demir, Richard Belzer. Demir is a
It's like
gossip account.
Sauvage
Okay.
elixir.
Sauvage elixir. That Repost blind items sent to accounts managed. The Instagram account features a disclaimer that says some statements made on this account have not been independently confirmed. That gives them an out. This account does not claim information published is based in fact. A lot of people like to criticize what is posted, and it takes all the fun out of it, says Vanity Fair's Maureen O'Connor in 2021. I don't want to be criticized for reposting something that somebody sent me. Give me a break. You know what I mean? It's like they're thumb suckers. So I don't know if you caught that, but that was a rumor that was flying around for about 3 weeks. And I
I
knew it was
actually missed that
bullshit.
one completely, so thank you for making me aware of it.
But when Depp is dating, Paulina Glenn at 25, it's not ridiculous to think he's going in that direction.
How
That's
dare
why
you?
it was that's why they floated it, because it's getting very cradle robby with him now. And is the more you drift away from that age gap, the creepier it gets. And when you start to compare it to his daughter and his son, who is 1 year younger, Jack Depp is 1 year younger than Jenna Ortega.
Mhm.
And I will
Take the
let me
chat
see.
down.
Hold on. And I will let me get rid of this. Addressing those rumors. Okay, get rid of that. Neither Johnny Depp. Okay, so let's put this is the last we're ever going to speak of Pirates of the Caribbean 6. This is the last time. I am
Sure.
the most tedious thing if you do depth searches is the pirates rooms. I think it might be is a moratorium. It is an official. I am not bringing up. I swear I've said this before, and I feel like a hypocrite because I'm going to. I'm putting closure on this. I'm putting a moratorium. He is not doing Pirates 6. It's not getting made. I don't want it to get made. We're lucky to get 3. He shouldn't have done 4. 5 is hideous. He's not doing 6. He shouldn't want to do 6. They shouldn't want to make 6. Everybody embarrassed that they even want a 6th one. Disney should be embarrassed. Don't even think about it. And this is the last time I'm bringing up Pirates 6. I don't want anyone bringing up the room. You're going to be blocked. I don't want to know about Pirates. I'm so tired of this fucking storyline. I was sick of it during Fairfax. I'm more sick of it. This is the last time I'm talking about this.
So you're
And
going to talk
only
about it?
because they say finally no one's doing anything. Finally someone wrote this. This is what I've been saying for like a year. The title of this article: neither Johnny Depp is returning nor the Pirates of the Caribbean is happening now. It's not happening thanks to the Hollywood strikes, and that's one reason. The
Shouldn't
buzz
that
around
article end there then?
it should. The buzz around Pirates of the Caribbean franchise and whether Johnny Depp will return as Jack Sparrow is immense and loud enough to reach people who are not interested in it. In the past week, the franchise has been unsettling waters now more than ever. The next part was going to be a spinoff. It was kind of in the works. Margot Robbie was back in the mix after news of it being shelved. Johnny Depp was probably being approached with some new offer, and we heard he isn't even interested if the content isn't good enough, and it's not. Now there's a new update. It kills the speculation. We've heard about this for the last month for the universe. Now, Johnny, who is known for playing Jack Sparrow, Pirates franchise, made it iconic. The actor is in talks to reprise the role. Disney fired him from the franchise. His personal life took over. Unceremoniously, he was fired. It also said the actor might now choose to do the lucrative project if the offer was right. The latest updates are coming from the little birdies of worrisome speculation. We now have heard that the studio is now walking it back. The reason is neither Johnny Depp nor Margot Robbie even wants to do it, and it's completely different. As per the Insider, Disney is now working on. Disney is not working on Pirates of the Caribbean 6, which was being shaped by the studio earlier. The report suggests that the change and the decision has come after the ongoing Hollywood strike that's going on, bringing things to a standstill in the industry. It doesn't seem like they'll revive the project anytime soon. As the portal calls, it's a pipe dream now. Meanwhile, it was recently revealed that the showrunner of The Last of Us, Craig Mazin, had pitched an idea of the 6th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which is supposed to be a reboot. We pitched it and thought there was no way they're going to buy this. It's just too weird. And they did. And then he wrote Fantastic Strip. The strike happened, and everyone's waiting around. Stay tuned. It's not happening. Good riddance, Pirate 6. I hope you never get made. Go away. Never again am I bringing it up. That's it. And if I do, shut me down. Don't let me do it, Sarah. If
Do
I
you
bring
think
it,
that's possible to shut you down on anything? No.
yeah, fine. Please throw your body in front of me in this story. Don't let me talk about this shit ever again.
I agree with you thoroughly, and I also feel the same about Aquaman too.
Speaking of which.
Oh God.
But this is again, this is I'll probably so this came out. Amber Heard forced to leave America. James Gunn's DC Universe is still busy marketing her as Mera in the new Aquaman first two photo. I just want to make it. So here's supposed Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's much publicized ugly defamation. This is the last time I'm bringing this up, and please make me hold to this. Ugly defamation case continues to hover and hover and hover and hover over the, as I said it would a year ago, didn't I, Sarah? He's never gonna, his life and his will be his. You are never going to talk about Depp and not bring up Fairfax. It's just that's why Doug Stanhope was spot on. That's why the trial was absolutely asinine to ever go through with, because you're never going to bring him up again and not think of this and her. It's not going to ever happen. Recently, photos were released of the first look of Heard's DC character, and the fans were quick to point out that James Gunn's marketing of her character can get negative impact on the movie, especially since many allege it was her who drove Depp away from America. Despite Heard and Depp, I'm sure G Canada's hashtags are coming up very soon, I'm sure.
No, he's already in there.
I'm not looking at it, I'm reading it, so I'll get it. Despite Heard and Depp moving on with their professional and personal lives, the public hasn't quite forgotten the long, ugly battle in court, drawing attention to it every now and again and all the time you talk about them. And this seems to be just the instance in this case. So this apparently is a shot of an action figure, her action figure for Aquaman 2.
Ugh.
So that confirms.
Are you showing it? Nobody can see it.
What?
You're not sharing it.
I am too.
No, you're not.
I swear. I swear to God, you gasped when I. How about now?
Yes. Oh God.
Okay. Oh, this is
Leonardo DiCaprio as Mera.
Oh, that's good, Sarah.
I know.
So this is supposedly a screenshot, and I don't know if this came from Comic-Con or whatever. Look, she already did the movie. We know she filmed it. What do you think they're gonna? You don't think they had this in the can? No, but like this thing, like everyone thinks they're just gonna like. She got her money. She did the movie. It doesn't matter what they do to it. And that there it is, the Lost Kingdom on the bottom.
Go back up to that mug. Ooh. Oh, Subi Sue. Thank you for the donation, $10. Thank you for all you do. Much love to you both. Subi Sue, I appreciate your donation so much.
She gave you a lot
More
of
love
support
back
for your
to
tragedies too, Sarah. All over the place. So you are a very, very sweet woman we are lucky to have in our midst. Aquaman was DC Universe's first billion-dollar grossing, and I will repeat, the #1 DC film of all time, including all the Batman iterations.
Thanks
And
to you.
since then, fans have been yearning for the sequel, which will finally be released at the end of this year. Reprising her role as Mera, Amber Heard will also be featured in the movie, although details of her role haven't been revealed yet, as they shouldn't be, holding the record for having the shortest window between the trailer's release and the movie's release. The first look of the characters hadn't been revealed yet until now, but recently, the new toys released by James Gunn's DC gave a glimpse into what potentially will be the actors' looks in the movie. Amber as Mera can be seen wearing the same dress as Aquaman, and although the color variations shown in the movie through the scales present on her outfit were ditched, which perhaps might be because of the sake of maintaining ease of development for the toy. Furthermore, there were certain silver accents on the sleeves and toy forearms, meaning her look can have a slight change. Her potential new look from the Aquaman sequel was also featured on the cover recently of Birds of Prey #4 comic book. Although nothing has been confirmed yet, there have been mixed reactions from the public so far of Heard's potential look for the movie. Heard has left the U.S. for good, it seems, residing in Spain. Her past continues to follow her, even though overshadowing her soon-to-be release. Aquaman, many have been taking offense to DC marketing her character as she's been allegedly linked to her ex-John. However, Depp has left the USA and moved to London to escape the hustle and bustle of American life and relax after the trial in, as Kathy Scott is about to say, the country that considers him guilty of domestic abuse. Let's flee to the country to impress Paul Bettany and Jeff Beck. And you can't tell me that's not why he goes there. It's the fucking British cool factor, and that is it. That is the company that considers you a wife beater, is the country you flee to, not America. And I have my problems with America, but England. UK, that's where you're a wife beater, and that's where you flee to. That's not a safe space. You're trying to kiss Jeff Beck's ass, and that's why you went there. Right, Sarah?
I yes, correct.
You don't have to agree with me, but you
No,
know
I actually I do agree with you. This I don't want to say infuriates me, but it frustrates me.
yes.
Yeah, the
You
Dan
know, the
Wooten
expatriate shit with him all the time.
Dan
Oh, look
Wooten is
at
free to, even though he's one now himself apparently, protest outside Depp's abode in the village in the countryside with a sign saying he's a wife beater and you can't do anything
yes.
about it.
12 out of what is 12 out of 14 or 12 out of 15
14, I
cases?
think.
Is it 14?
Yeah,
I can't
12
watch
out of
Gilbert
14.
Grape, says Flamer 24, as it's too close to home. I don't think
Agreed.
JD will ever get the Oscar. He's done too many weird movies. Yeah, I mean, to be nominated 3 times, it's gonna he's and now that he's 60, you're looking at that lifetime achievement thing. I think it will happen, but it's gonna I don't you know what? I don't know. I agree with we said I don't think you're gonna see another movie out of him when he's 65. I don't know. I don't care about Modi. I don't want to see it. I hope it never gets made. I don't give a flying fuck about Jean Dubarry. It's another tedious period piece I want nothing to do with. I would have nixed that completely and utterly. That's not going to get nominated. So yeah, he's going to be till there's a movie. I don't, Sarah, 65. When are we going to see a decent film out of him?
I don't know that we are ever going to again.
Maybe never again.
I think he's found what he loves to do. Money be damned. And this is what we got.
G Canada is not going to play in our fantasy league. That would be interesting to see you do it. It's not that time consuming, G Canada. It's once a week. I think people overrate how long does it take you, Sarah, to do that a week? 20 minutes?
If you want to win, it's
You
a good
do
hour a day.
slave over it at work, actually. I see you
I
making
do.
like 50 transactions during your
That's why I come in when I don't win. That's why I come in the top 5 every
Alice
season.
Cooper says he has abs. Alice Cooper is Depp's biggest fucking like shill. He just embellishes everything he does. Now he's abs. Now he has abs. Alice
I'll
Cooper says
look.
he has abs.
I will go under the shirt and I'll look for you.
Alice Cooper will loves to embellish everything Depp. So he's trying to he needs him for the tour, right? There's no Hollywood vampires if you don't get the fucking posers from the Fairfax trial, the Deptford wives showing up. I have no idea
You
who
might
Alice
offend
Cooper
someone.
even
Be careful.
is. Grounded out or washed up. Sarah cuddles up to a Depp dad bod pillow every night. A body pillow, says Johnny Bye Bye. A Depp dad bod body pillow by Johnny Bye Bye. Isn't that
Doesn't
crazy?
smell like cigarettes, I promise. Smells like me.
Johnny, I need your help. I've been going back and forth with Medusa, who does this thing, and I'm trying to get her on, and I'm very close, but I think I need urging. I brought you up to her, and nice broad. I'm not there yet. She's very trepidatious. She's very scared of the hate that comes with her, and I said I promised to have
Then
a
don't bother.
respectful discourse, and she's sort of on the fence. So I need your help. Like Artie, Depp's physique has always been better than it had been any right to be. Brendan's right. That's well said. Like Artie Lang, Depp's physique has always been better than it ever had any right to be. He's absolutely right. Right?
You
It's
want to know
just
something disgusting and says a lot about me? I used to think Artie was attractive.
that's okay. That's fine. I could see that.
Not even
Why
in
can't he be?
the early days. I'm talking about when it got bad. I
You're not
know.
alone in that. That's fine. You get that's I don't disagree with that. Howard's narrative of his big fat struggle, that's fine. You're
I would have taken care of
absolutely
him.
entitled. He's better looking than Howard is.
I think because this is before the nose caved in. I think it's because I wanted to take care of him for a moment. So I
Yeah,
found him
that's fine.
attractive.
Yeah, that's fine. You're welcome, Johnny. Thank you for all the kind words. I can hear Sarah cringing. Yes, Leo is an asshole, but I don't hate him. I hate him. I'll hate him for you, Johnny. I'll hate him for you.
I wasn't cringing.
I gotta have him back too. I liked some Johnny Meyer. Very, very, very interesting dude. Piece of work. And I think he hurt us with Electric Eel last week. That's another piece of work. They have the same energy level. constant motion. He didn't know it. He's been pretending to be a polar bear chasing seals, and he was a lot. Nothing says Hooper. Wait, Depp is getting with another girl whose body frame of a middle schooler. Oh my God, yeah, that's our Johnny Bybee is our resident Depp contrarian. He does a very good job. He's usually by himself in it.
There's a few in residence.
We love him though. He's so instrumental to what we do with some of the
Yes,
links
because and some of it's shtick. Let's be honest. But hey, it's
probably
funny. But that's the joy of this audience.
yes.
Both opinions,
We hear
all
him out.
opinions are included. You don't have to cry or go on Instagram and post how we are vomitous because we said we don't like his guitar playing. It's okay.
It's just very mediocre. It's. I say this with all sincerity, and I mean this, and I said it, and I will continue to say it. The musical side of Depp is the least interesting part of him.
Hmm.
It's the least interesting side, and it is a compliment to the other things that he is. I think he's a better writer than he is a musician. I think he's a better obviously he's a better actor. I think his sense of humor is better. I think comedically, I think the musical side to him is the least interesting thing about him by far.
How dare
By
you have an
far.
opinion, sir?
And that's why I just close my eyes to it. It's forgettable. It's disposable. You don't know one show from the next. I don't think anyone can even identify a guitar lick that he's playing. Fuck that. I could care less. I don't want to see any other collaborations. I've had it. I've had it.
You're going to.
The three-eyed catfish says because of immaturity, which is why I think he was dating younger females. Yeah, I mean that's certainly uh the number one criteria. They have both made public statements. It's a nothing burger. It's obvious news, says Flamer24.
And public statements that close the lid and drive a stake through it. So
Yes. Let's face facts here, G Canada. If I haven't been blocked, nobody's going to get blocked. He aspires to get blocked, G Canada. It's
no,
almost
and
like
I have blocked people, but you have to drive me to the point of being blocked. It takes a lot.
tell us how they really feel about Pirate 6 Arm. I think an alpaca farm is more in his future.
And I love that for him. And
Flamer,
him and I can go to New Zealand, buy an alpaca farm. We can make love on a pile of shorn alpaca fur. It's fine. I see that for myself and for Depp.
can I just say one thing about Aquaman? I said this during
No.
Fairfax.
Oh,
The best thing they can do is be as ambiguous as possible. I'm talking about Warner Brothers and DC. Don't say anything. Don't tell them what she's in. And the curiosity. Could you imagine having a trial that big, the magnitude of that? It was an infomercial for Aquaman 2. I've said that the whole time we were doing it. I'm like, this is the greatest. You couldn't possibly ever get promotion like that. And the curiosity from that movie, even if these, contrived Amber haters, was she in or not? Don't say shit. Don't say she's in it. Don't give them anything. Make them buy a ticket to see it. No one's rooting harder for Aquaman 2 to do well than me. There's no bigger Aquaman fan than me. I could care less if she's already been paid. If she's in it, I could care. If she's in it for 45 minutes or an hour and a half, I could care less. I'm fine with it as
I
long as the
think it's
movie
like
does well.
10 minutes
I
in the
could care
beginning.
less. I want it to do.
I
Don't
I
say
hope
anything about how much she's in it.
I hope for your beautiful heart and your beautiful soul as the number one Aquaman fan in all of the land. I hope it's a good movie because it will be the last one. So I hope they go out on a good note for you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I doubt it though.
That is the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. Johnny Meyer, if a writer writes a part 6 that studio thinks will make money, it will get made. Unless JD demands are just too high, and they are too high a fee, Johnny. That was the problem. He had to lower it a few times. There's some great stuff in the Tracy Jacobs of him having to lower his fee for your movie, City of Lies. What was it, Sarah? He wanted 10 and they gave him 4. Is that
I
how
thought
it
it was
went?
6. I thought it was 6.
Could you imagine if he lowered it more, how much Johnny Meyer would have made in that movie?
He's scraping scale.
Or pay for the Rocky Brooks lawsuit, but he
Hmm.
had to take a hit on that. I think Brad Furman will confirm. Welcome, Lauren Marie, one of our great posters and comments and creative minds. Hi, all. I love Tim Burton talk, but I'm so bummed out today. I just listened in the background. Sorry, Lauren. I wish we could help you. Lay it on us if it's any of our business. Maybe your friends here are here for you, and we could serve as therapists at what time is it, Sarah? 5:36 Eastern Standard Time.
No, it's 2:36 Pacific time for everyone.
Okay, I do like Pacific better.
It is.
Vindicate
You
Amber.
should.
There's your Herd Husbands Unite. G Canada. Johnny Bye Bye. Ha! Finally, an Amber Heard story. UK. Hashtag justice for Amber. UK justice. Subi Sue. Thank you. Who? I gotta get to. Thank you, Kathy Scott. Arm. You won't see him on the big screen ever. It's over. Kathy,
Agreed.
that's a strong opinion, and I might agree with you on that.
Can I give a rant here for a second? It's a quick one. This is
Sure.
about Amazon.
Absolutely.
I am waiting for cat food and cat litter today. Amazon has been 9 stops away for the last 45 minutes. Do you know what that means? They are like 3 streets over. That means they took their fucking lunch break before they delivered my goddamn cat food.
Now Hooper thinks that Camilla, that cartoon charismatic cat of yours can see into his soul. And Hooper along with that says, this is the funniest thing I've ever read. I am a suck. I love all body pillow jokes. Hooper writes, Sarah, can I send you a body pillow of myself if you're interested?
Yes, but does it have attachments?
And thank you, Hooper. Does it have attachment? I said I'm the Will Chamberlain of body pillows in my teens and 20s. Oh my god, I put them down. It was like 3 a day in the same day. I was the Don Juan DeMarco of body pillows in the 90s and early 2000s. My cousin and I would compete. We sometimes would share a body pillow. Malcolm.
You both acted as body pillows for the other at one
Flamer
point.
24 says Malcolm Connolly, that's the 70-year-old Scottish bodyguard Depp has. Depp does daily workouts. Of course he says that. Does it look like it, Sarah? I believe you, Malcolm.
Lifting cigarette to mouth? I don't know.
I would love to think that's true. By the way, I found our hockey-haired hockey goon, the other guy next to Sean Bett. His name is Mark Gibbs. And he lives in Tennessee by Kathy Scott. Kathy, look up Mark Gibbs. That's Depp's other bodyguard that no one knew the name of. That he was with the hockey hair. He looks like a hockey goon. He looks like a fucking Nashville Predator hockey goon. And he was next to Sean Bett at the final. His name doesn't come up a lot. He lives in Tennessee, Kathy. I swear to God. Mark Gibbs. Look him up on Instagram. It's not easy to find. His whole thing, his on Instagram, he calls himself a concert groupie or something, concert goer. His son plays college football at Jesus Christ, Division 1. It's low Division 1, but it's Division 1. Damn it, where is it? Oh God, I forget the school, but it's Division 1. He plays college. He might have just graduated. He was a linebacker.
Has anyone told you you're creepy?
What? I'm just looking. I'm checking the guy. I'm just checking out, seeing who he is. God damn it! Why is it creepy that I know his son plays college football?
That's really good. It's creepy.
Why is it creepy? Why? What? It's an interesting backstory. It just is. That doll is so cute, true to life, but has a dead soul, says Flamer24. That's the Amber Heard action figure. Lauren Marie should sue. I don't know what she should sue.
No, sue.
Oh, okay. I thought Lauren Marie should sue somebody. I'm like, all right.
No.
I got her back on that. She's still coping with him, and she's not going to let you forget about it. That's true. That's true. Sarah, you ready to reprise your role as Christie Dembrowski Depp?
Sure. We got, an hour maybe to do it?
Yeah, we'll see how far we get.
Okay.
Remove
by the way, this is our last Wednesday show. We will be returning now that football season is back. Oh, God. Returning to Friday night shows.
Oh, no.
Not my fit. What?
The fucking... I go through this all the time with the transcript. It won't show up in my when I go to share screen. It shows up and then it vanishes. So when I go to the window to look at it, it vanishes. Okay. So when I can't share it, so I have to put this back. It's so weird. It's the weirdest thing. You know how like when I was talking like how you go share screen and I was practicing because oh great. Do I have to use Firefox?
No,
I don't have
no. What? Don't go through all that.
I don't have a problem with it if that's what we have to do.
How are you going to do that?
Because you can share. Firefox will it come up? No, it won't come up.
No, you have to do Chrome. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah, this is and the worst thing is, I tested it before I went on.
Okay, well, let's just talk then.
Oh God, no! Let me fucking get rid of this. Let me try. Let me take one last try, and if I can't
Okay,
do it, we're gonna have to just
we'll just bullshit.
do it next time. But we have the title and everything, and we could. No, no, we got to do it. I mean, as far as like, I mean, I'm not gonna. There's really no replacement for it. This
Well,
is
we can
such
also
bullshit.
between
Here's
now.
what I'm going
Listen,
through. Here's what I'm
listen,
going
listen,
through. When we
listen. I
do this,
understand.
let me finish. Let me finish.
Oh,
When we do this, you have to. This is on StreamYard, and I'm just getting good at it. If you call it this, they have a mute, they have a start cam, they have a settings, they have a present, they have an invite button on the bottom. When we share something, you hit this thing called present. Then you go into, you see slides, you see extra camera, you see video file, and you see share screen. Most of the time, we're using share screen. And when you share a screen, things come up in this thing that you have on your computer. I am not seeing. Tell me if you see this.
yes.
Okay. It wasn't there before, but it was up. So it just disappears. It does what it wants. And it's page 88 that we're at. And we're doing this now. And now I'm angry that it's not showing up though on our, is it?
No, it's blank now.
Why? Why?
There we go. I see it.
Now you see it.
Yes.
Why would it come up late? Why would it?
I
What
don't
is that?
know. I don't know.
I'm not expecting anyone to have answers for this, but this is the weird shit when you do this. And this is why we were pre-taping it. For just such this is what, when you do it live, this is the problem you can run into, is shit like this. So when you pre-tape it, you don't have the pressure that this stuff's all going to go right. We could edit it, we can go back to it. And I love you people in the chat more than you know, as Sarah would say. But when you do stuff, this is the risk you run, is that this isn't going to work. And that's why people don't go live. I'm looking forward to Jean DeBarry. I am not flamered. I think that I'm not in Hollywood blockbusters. I prefer these weird choices. I don't consider it a weird choice, Flamer. I think it's very predictable. I think it's a period piece with a French. I think he's very predictable taking that. I think I want nothing to do with period pieces anymore. I don't consider it weird. You do. That's fine. We're slightly I don't find it interesting. I don't find that character interesting. I want nothing to do with it. It's sleepy, right? You doing a snore? Is
Me?
that what you do? Yeah.
I bumped the microphone.
Okay, I thought you were snoring. Like watching that. How about uh Waiting for the Barbarian, Sarah? Is there anything more boring
No, that
than
movie
that?
was maybe the most boring movie I've ever watched or
Do you
attempted to watch.
think that Jean DeBarry will be as boring as that?
No, actually. A love story I can follow even in another language. I didn't get far enough to even find out who the barbarians were, why he was waiting for them. I don't know who Robert Pattinson played other than Edward Cullen. I don't care. It was in the desert, even more boring. No.
That was Depp canceled phase too, where he was trying to take anything and look, I still got it, and I'm still get. And it was, he loves wearing wacky sunglasses, right?
Mhm.
Waiting for the Barbarians, he gets to wear. He loves the welder sunglasses. I truly believe that's why he took the role, so he could wear the welder sunglasses in that. Johnny Bye Bye says something here that's prophetic and really everyone should take heed, and you really should have this like bookmarked or stamped on anything you do on the internet. People take the internet way too seriously.
Mhm.
I think you two, we're fine together. Depp to me is just your excuse to do a podcast. No, I
Yeah.
was going to do this, Johnny. Believe me,
We
very
talked about
much.
this for like 8 months
I've been
before.
thinking about doing it for years. I was afraid of the technology. I was afraid I couldn't navigate the technology.
How'd you get over that?
Probably your tutelage on
Correct.
StreamYard, but I don't think StreamYard was around then.
Yes, it was. We've been doing
Not.
StreamYard since the
I'm talking
beginning.
about when I first thought to do like a 21 Jump Street watch along over a
No, no,
decade ago.
in the early 90s, no, StreamYard was not around.
I said 10 years ago when I wanted to do like a 21 Jump Street watch along. is really what I kept seeing. Like, I'm like, I need to do that, and I just couldn't. I didn't understand how it was. I was just afraid of it. I was just afraid of what that process was. Let him do whatever he wants. No, Kathy, that's not going
I
to happen.
agree,
We'll do
Kathy.
what I want to do. It's
Bravo,
been
Kathy.
it's been his life all the time. When has he not done whatever he's want to make him? When has he not? Name one thing he's been forced to do. When has he? What he's been calling the shots? He's the
Fairfax.
late. Name one thing. No, that was his. It's what he wanted. Name one thing he's been forced to do. He's always done what he wants. That's the problem. Name one thing that he has had been forced to do that isn't what he wants. Name one thing. Who doesn't have? He's been calling the shots, and that's why we're in the mess we're in now.
I'll let you see.
I do whatever I want. That's the whole basis of a Tracy Jacobs transcript and what we're reading now.
He's
Nobody
at an
tells him
age
no.
though now. You just got to accept what he does. That's the best you're going to get right now. He's comfortable enough. He can do what he wants.
Flamer goes, I can't stand Marvel movies. Too big. Well,
I
Flamer,
agree.
I will. How about this? Watch the Captain America trilogy and get back to me on that. They're better than any Depp movie in the last 10 years, without question. In the last 10, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and Civil War are better than any Depp movie in the last 15 years. How about that?
I think you're more in love with Captain America than you are Johnny Depp.
That could be. If you were, that could be. That could be. He doesn't. Far less. Do you think Steve Rogers would let Lily Rose live with a 24-year-old at 14 and 15?
How many times have you been sexually stimulated by that elevator fight scene?
There's no way Steve Rogers would think Mordecai was a good idea in Transcendence. You talk about integrity. Do you think Depp's worthy of lifting Thor's hammer like your dad and Steve Rogers?
I need to know more about him as a father on a personal level.
Maybe the mule train broke down the trail. Jeff Bezos makes $20 billion a month, says Johnny Meyer. I don't know why. Oh, talk about Amazon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, your cat Camilla, isn't she a bit of a celebrity internationally? Shouldn't she get first treatment? Shouldn't they give her food first? Why is she even waiting for
I
anybody?
got a $40 cat supply order coming. Get your ass here. I do see since my last rant, they have moved up one stop away to 8. God
Let me see if I could find you, bitch. You, bitch.
I know.
Did you take out
What?
Did you take out my Camilla drop?
Yes, I did.
Why?
I had to make room for the new ones.
Oh my good God! It's 30 seconds.
I'll make you a better one.
You Homo sapiens and your guns.
But you kept Magneto, my anti-gun
I
statement,
didn't want you to cry.
and you kept Jack.
Somebody needs to see Joe. Help a man with the house.
Oh, I missed that.
Blacks, Jews, Hispanics, whatever.
I love at the end of that. You can kind of hear Greco go, and people with glasses. That's my point.
I know. I need to edit your clips better.
No, but you can't hear him. But he's about to say it. You could hear him like revving up to say it. Was he the guy with the mullet? Yes, Flamered. He's the guy with the mullet. Mark Gibbs. Look him up. No one knows the name. Look him up on Instagram. And he's from Tennessee. And he lives right by Kathy Scott.
He was laughing at Aunt Bonnie getting annihilated by Camille.
Yes.
Oh, and we're not supposed to say anything bad about Camille, by the way.
I love Firefox, says Pellel. I like Firefox too, but it's slow. It's. I feel like it hasn't been perfected. What do they call it? What's the other name for Firefox? It's got two names.
I don't know.
You're
the nerd. I don't know.
No, it's got two names.
Firefox.
It's oh god, when it first came out, it had another name. Weird by Hollywood. Okay, ready, Sarah? We're on page 88. Hollywood standard. Jay-Z is he's good at period piece drama. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it all. I don't want it. So Mozilla. Thank you, Pellel. Thank you. That's it. Mozilla Firefox. That was how it came out. That's how I originally knew it. Mickey Rourke in fucking Iron Man 2. Did you see Iron Man 2, Sarah?
Yeah.
He plays a combination of Whiplash.
I like Mickey Rourke. I like that movie.
I think
Am I not supposed to?
Iron Man 2 is misunderstood. Yes, Pattinson is overrated and super lucky, Pelle. I agree with you.
It got what a blasphemous shit choice of
Concert
casting,
Mark.
making him Batman. Oh,
Subi Sue. That's right. Concert Mark. That's the name on Instagram. That's exactly right. What was I going to say? Iron
I
Man
don't
2.
know.
So it's a setup to expand the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Scarlett Johansson debuts in that, and it's kind of a Mickey Rourke plays like a hybrid of like um, Crimson Dynamo and Whiplash, and it's okay. It's got its problems, but it's good. Gary Shandling's in it. Plays Senator Stern.
Unfortunately.
And here we go, Sarah. So I will start. We are on page 88. We're not going to do this too long. Where are we here? We're at almost 2 hours.
And keep going, chat. We'll get back to you in a second.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. So I'm Mr. Treece. I'm on line 6 and 7. You see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. So this is the sealed, confidential transcript of Depp's sister Christie, which they don't want to say. We've already heard that um, uh, Danny Depp got issued $70,000 that we didn't know about. Depp's older brother never came up. Did not know that until we read it. And there's a lot of Marilyn Manson getting invoked into this. So it's a lot of stuff we haven't heard. Some of it you have. It's some different, but I'm willing to look. It's sealed for a reason because they don't want you to know. And pardon my anti Camille Vasquez rants when she fucking objects to nothing all the time, every time, tediously, annoyingly, and I'm going to get probably enraged as we go on in her
And
fucking tired objections.
if us having an opinion on Camille is in any way negative, too bad.
I think she's
I
super
love
fucking
Camille.
annoying with the objections.
Yes, and that's fine to say. Who cares? If you can handle that, hit the little
Oh, I'm
X
so
button
tired
in
of
the
her being
corner.
sacrosanct. I'm so tired
Listen,
of it.
hit the little X button in the corner and go find a Popcorn Planet show to watch. He will love your super chat. Thanks. Have a great day.
The fake fans who aren't real, who are latched on, the grifters. No, they're posers and grifters. That's
You're
exactly
triggering me.
they're not fans. We're fans. We're actually like cinema fans, people who saw, Dead Man in the theater. These are fake fans. Any of these posers, fucking umbrella guy can drop dead. All of
No,
them.
don't say
See you on the street. I'm laying you out. I'm laying you
that.
out. Fucking stupid hick. You overrated piece of shit poser. Go to hell. You're not a real fan. All right. Mr. Treece. All right. And at some point, I've got a longer document and I'm going to show you, and it's not necessary for you to review it in advance. I actually don't think this is either because we can go through it. Well, the other option is to go off the record and allow you to review, and then we'll come back on the record. So those are my two proposals for you.
All right,
So
skip down.
why don't we just go off the record here, and that will allow you to review this. And to go off the record, back to Mr. Dembrowski. So Christie reviews it. We go down as Camille's tedium.
Your
Back to
question was
Mr.
on the last page.
What?
Your question was at the end of the last page.
We're on 89. At the beginning of the text exchange, here you are asking if Amber wants to talk. Isn't that right?
Yes.
And do you recall that Amber and Johnny took a flight from Boston to Los Angeles on the 24th of May, 2014?
I don't recall specific dates, but
You're aware that there was an incident on a plane involving Johnny and Amber in May of 2014. God, Camille's pissing me off again. I can't I don't know.
uh-oh. All right. I wasn't aware of an incident.
All right. Well, you were aware that they took a flight from Boston to LA in May of 2014, correct? Oh, wait. Or around that time of this next exchange, is that right?
Again, I don't remember specific dates and trips. There were a lot of trips.
All right. Well, let's take a look at this text exchange. You reach out. You know what we should have done, Sarah? We should have redacted everything Camille says in this whole
Probably, but
transcript. We should
that's
have
all
taken
right.
it right. That would have been really good. That if we had our shit together like full on. If we
Mhm.
just redacted and blacked out everything Camille says. All right. Well, let's take a good look at this text exchange. You reach out to see if she wants to talk to you, and you don't recall why you reached out as we sit here. Is that right?
I don't recall at this moment, no.
And Amber responds by saying, I can't. I'm sorry, but thank you for your offering. And then you respond by saying, could be things get better from all this? May know enough to be helpful. I would love to see if we could talk even a little. Do you see that?
Yes.
Does that refresh your recollection as to what this incident even relates to?
No.
And then it goes on to say, yes, I hope he does get better this time, but I can't keep staying, supporting him, just to watch him do it all over again. He's done this many times before. Tokyo, the island, London. In parenthesis, you remember that many, many times, and I always stay. I always believe he's going to get better, and then every 3 months or so, I'm in the exact same position. Do you see that?
Oh, she's really laying foundations in these text messages. Yes.
And Amber is mentioning Tokyo and the island and London to you because those were incidents where Johnny was high on drugs and alcohol and was out of control. Isn't that right?
She mentions them, but I don't know specifically the reasoning behind the mentioning them.
Well, do you recall any incident in Tokyo?
I didn't travel to Tokyo with him. I wasn't there.
Are you aware of an incident in Tokyo that of the incident in Tokyo that she's referring to here?
Um,
Okay, so Treece gets pissed off at Vasquez
Mhm.
again, which I wish we saw in the actual Fairfax. This would have been great. Because
I-
I was getting pissed, and Camille, you can have a running objection. We got it. You object to everything. He's perfect. We got it. We got it. We got it. No information. You're gonna cock block everything I fucking say. I don't want what I recall the specific
no, that's
trips.
me. That's
Oh, I'm
me.
sorry. Sorry.
I don't know that I recall specific trips if I wasn't there.
Okay, that's true. Do you see where she says London? Remember that the exclamation point, the question mark. Do you see that?
Yes.
She's expecting you to remember what happened in London. Is that correct?
She's referencing it like I should know London.
As you sit here today, do you know what London even this reference refers to?
I don't know specifically what she's referring to in London.
Did she? And then you go,
Oh, sorry. I apologize. Do
yeah,
it
it's
again.
weird. It's
Do it
weird
again.
looking. No, it's okay. It's weird looking. It doesn't look
All
like
right.
she should.
We
Did,
were
did,
in we were in and out of London a lot, so
And she tells you that it's essentially a 3-month cycle. Every 3 months or so, he just builds up and he gets on a drug and alcohol infused rage and then takes it out on Amber. Isn't that right?
that's what she wrote.
And you ask how they've been up to this point, and then she says, well, great, perfect, heaven.
Is that
Until
pretty
he
language?
decides. What?
Pretty language.
Yeah. Until he decides to use. Do you see that?
Yes.
And what and that was you were aware that there was an ongoing issue between Amber and Johnny, his drug use and his behavior while under the influence, correct?
I'm sorry.
Can the court reporter read that last question back?
I'm not aware of it being an ongoing issue personally, but I know that Amber referenced it occasionally. So,
Amber told you that it was an ongoing issue in those text chains that we've already looked at today. Isn't that right?
yes, Amber would write it.
I see. And then Amber goes on to say, and the drug abuse and all the prescription meds and the drinking has been slowly climbing every day. We've been fine, except there's a hiccup or an issue or a problem. Then shit hits the fan because he doesn't deal with it as Johnny. He deals with it as a totally different person, a demon. Do you see that?
Yes.
And so conveyed to you that Johnny acted like a demon when he was under the influence of drugs and alcohol. Isn't that right?
It is what she wrote.
And what do you think about that?
I thought she was dramatic always.
Histrionic, one might say. Do you see where it goes on to say it was the worst I've ever seen him? I think it's because he's now taking Adderall on top of all the other shit, which is the equivalent to consuming a pharmaceutical speedball every day. He will die if he continues to call being sober just not drinking. And his medicine kit includes tons of new drugs. He's going to kill himself, Christie. Do you see that?
Yes,
I think she did say that. So Christie's confirming she did say that. And I think Amber is absolutely right about that.
I agree, but the motive is not what she's trying to convey.
If
The
she
true
wants
motive.
to kill him, why would she get in front of that cocktail of drugs?
Because this was all part of a foundation for the end result that she was hoping for.
I think that he could, at that age, consume that is absolutely ridiculous, and his sister should have gotten in front of it, and it should have been a number one priority. It is absolutely. I've never heard of anyone in that age range consuming anything on that level.
Well,
Just crazy.
I have no doubt that Christie remembers all of these conversations, what the true context was behind all of them. But do you really think Amber gave a shit about the drugs he was doing? No.
Well, you
Keep in
don't think
mind, she was the one cutting the lines for him in the morning.
right, right, but she's in her late 20s and he's in his 50s.
This was all part of a story that she was writing.
This is not like advocating her doing drugs, but she's at an age where she can handle it. He can't. It's
I
actually
agree with
more
you.
noble for her to. And I'm on 18.
Okay.
And are you concerned about his drug use and what Amber's conveying to you in this text message at this point?
I was never really sure of things not being presented as overdramatic.
He's
So
full of shit. His sister's full of shit here. She's full of shit. She knows exactly what he's doing. She knows exactly what is on, and she better be concerned because if he goes, she goes. She's got no career at all, and she's just yes. He's like the yes man thing, and the emperor's clothes, emperor's scarves. That's his sister's full of shit there. Not you're full of shit, Christie is. After the plane incident, you actually engaged Dr. Kipper, Dr. Feelgood, as they say, Ozzy Osbourne's doctor, to try to get Johnny sober. Did you not?
I'm sorry, you're asking if I engaged Dr. Kipper?
Correct.
We introduced him to Dr. Kipper, yes.
And that was after the plane incident where Johnny was belligerent and abusive. Isn't that right?
I don't know the timeline, but I don't recall that being a reason. So
What do you recall being the reason?
I recall that it was a good idea. I felt like a good idea to have him meet with Dr. Kipper.
Based on what information? What information led you to conclude that there was a good idea?
Based on the idea that some of the, medications or whatever that he was taking.
Sara, you know the OJ trial really well, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I mean, I know the basics. I know I'm not an expert by any means. Camille's Robert Shapiro's apprentice, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what Robert Shapiro does? What she does? All those tedious objections like that
I
with different.
don't know. I don't
Right.
remember
I don't.
depositions.
Just wondering if you remember.
Well, they're going to object more in a deposition they would in the actual courtroom.
It was your understanding that he was abusing those medications, isn't that right?
Yeah. Wait. Yeah, because I don't abusing.
Yes, I'm asking for your opinion. I'm not asking for an expert opinion. I'm asking for your opinion. Was it your opinion that he was abusing medications?
I don't know that I like the word abusing, but it was for me, I wanted him to be able to see someone because if in fact he was taking any of these things, it was something that was not necessarily, what I knew him to do.
All right. And back to the exhibit we're looking at here, 17929 at the Bates number. Amber tells you, I don't want to lose Johnny that I love, that we both love. I don't want to lose him. I want and need to lose the demon that he carries on his back. Do you
The
see
monster. Yeah. Yes.
And she conveyed to you that, did you agree that he had a demon on his back that he needed to get rid of?
I don't feel he had a demon.
All right. And
on
you
his
say,
back.
yeah, it's a weird exchange. And then you go on to say that you know that Amber doesn't want to lose him and that you know Amber loves him, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go on to say, well, he needs help and I don't have all the information to help him alone. Do you see that?
Yes.
And you say that in response to this text chain that we've been looking at, where Amber's telling you all of the issues he's having with drugs and alcohol, isn't that right?
Uh, to me, what I'm saying is I love him and I want to help him in whatever he would need, but I don't have all of the information. So,
And well, then you go and on the next page, ask Amber if he would speak to you to fill you in on this stuff.
yes.
And Amber says, of course she will. She was the only one was really sober during the whole event that she's been discussing with you. Isn't that right?
I don't know that she's referring to in a present for this whole thing. I'm not sure what the reference is for that.
Do you recall the flight where Johnny threw ice at? Oh, what a waste of ice! Now I'm really you bring ice into the fold here. Now
You'd
you
catch,
got my attention.
you would
Jeez,
get in the middle and catch it in your mouth.
I have been known to save ice cubes from a swimming pool. You know when George Bush had a thing, no kids left behind or whatever? My thing is no ice cubes left behind. I will
Mm.
save in the sink. And they go on the floor. They're being saved. No ice cubes left
Would you
behind.
save an ice cube out of a toilet?
I might think
Oh,
about it. I'm just kidding.
no,
Do
you're
you
not.
recall the flight where Johnny threw ice at Amber, where Johnny kicked Amber in the back, where Johnny slapped her in the face, and then where Johnny berated her for filming Adderall diaries with James Franco? Boy, Adderall is
No.
quite a. All right, and then you'll turn to 17935. You all discuss getting together to talk. Amber says she's waiting at 72, and then you say meet me in 66. Do you see that?
I'm trying to get to it.
Okay, I've got it here on the screen for you.
Okay, I'm not on that page. Or I'm on that page.
All right. Well, she says, I'm waiting at 72 to talk to you. And you said, meet me in 66. Do you see that?
I do see that.
And then we go to Treece. And that refers to one of the properties at Suita. Is that right?
Yes.
And you all met at one of the properties at Suita on May 25th, 2014. Is that correct?
I don't recall, but
Wasn't there a time where Christie was living on the Sweetser compound? Is she still
yeah,
living there?
I would assume so.
I don't know because her address came up different in the beginning of this.
Mm-hmm.
But at that time, she was living on that compound with her kids and everything. And it was
Mm-hmm.
enough. So this text chain and the events surrounding it don't stand out in your mind.
Not at the moment, no.
So then Amber responds after about 3 hours after you say, meet me in 66 and says, I'm brokenhearted. And you say, is he going to see that doctor in the morning? Do you see that?
Yes.
Had you ever sent Johnny to a doctor for alcohol or drug treatment?
I don't recall.
I bullshit,
I
you
don't
know.
recall dates. This is so long ago. I don't recall dates.
Oh, she's so full of shit. How could you not remember? Oh God. Could you imagine the eye rolling going on during this? She does her own sister, the gatekeeper, doesn't remember. That's such a lie. Yeah, no wonder why they wanted this redacted, not used. God damn it, right, Sarah? Could you like how bad does she come off here? Good
Sorry,
God.
I had to take a sip. Okay.
Let me ask you this. Was Dr. Kipper the first doctor that you recall engaging to see Johnny over drug and alcohol use?
Dr. Kipper that's who I recall having him meet.
Boy, that Bruce Witkin hates Dr. Kipper. He goes off on him in his transcript when we get to that.
Mm-hmm.
He calls him a con man over and over again. I mean, you saw that in his video, but he goes further into it in the Unsealed confidential. And it doesn't stand out for you, a particular reason that prompted you to reach out to a doctor to get a doctor involved with Johnny and his drug and alcohol use.
Um, There is no specific incident or anything that I recall as being the reason, other than, with all the thought that, if he was doing anything extra that I wasn't used to him ever doing, that he should meet with the doctor. God, I screwed that up.
That's okay. That's how she's stammering, and that's fine. Well, do you recall Amber telling you that Johnny had kicked her when he was under the influence of drugs or alcohol?
No.
And do you take a look at the next text there on 17937? Do you see Amber saying, I don't need a kick in the back to be hurt? Do you see that?
I do see that.
Well, and she then refers to her heart aching.
Ugh.
So she's essentially saying, I don't need him to physically hit me or to be hurt. My heart is aching. Isn't that right?
No, I don't think that's what it says.
Well, do you recall? I mean, I realize you haven't had a specific recollection up to this point, but that's a great dig at her right there. But do you recall Amber telling you that Johnny had kicked her?
No.
All right. And in this text message, she says, I'm not going to keep falling back into the same patterns that always repeat themselves. If he truly wants to get help beyond one doctor's appointment, he truly decides to change his life, then I hope he'd come find me. But until he's made that decision, not just saying he will, which I have heard 1,000 times from him, I've heard him promise so many times the same thing over and over. And every time I trust him, I believe him. And every time he ends up hurting me, he ends up hurting me again. I don't need a kick in the back to be hurt. Right now, my heart is aching. I'm so hurt and I feel so lost without him. Do you see that?
That's a word salad right there.
Yeah.
Yes, I see that.
And she is conveying to you here what we've seen previously, that there's a cycle of drug abuse and rage on the part of Johnny that keeps repeating itself over and over. Is that correct?
I think she's stating that she has a concern, but I wouldn't say that she's stating rage or whatever you just said, because to me, those words are written. They have a different meaning to me than from the way I'm reading it right now. They have a different meaning than what you're alluding to.
You tell Amber in this next text chain, she needs to tell Johnny that she's scared. Is that right?
I don't. Oh, wait. Yes.
Okay, and you knew that Amber was scared of Johnny when he behaved like this, correct?
No.
Why did you tell Amber to tell Johnny that she was scared then?
I feel like from the relationship that I had with her, it was more of scared of, losing him or breaking up. It wasn't scared in the physical sense of scared. It was the emotional scared.
And then do you see the text chain at the bottom here? It says, he should know because he should love me. And know if anyone did this to you or Lily Rose, he'd fucking kill them. He needs to be accountable. Do you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, so do you know what that refers to?
Specifically, no.
And then do you see where it goes on to say, and aware enough to know that, to know how much I've been put through and how scared I must be. I've given him 1,000 sorries and 1,000 chances and couldn't have been more supportive throughout. Do you see that?
Yes.
And he's not aware enough to know because he blacks out. Isn't that right?
No.
No. Now that she conveyed to you that he's not aware enough to know what he's doing, is that right?
She says that he's not aware enough to know that.
I think you still go here.
Yeah, but it's more on an emotional is what she's referring to.
How do you gather that?
From the relationship for all the years. It's how she spoke. It's how we spoke.
Well, all right. Well, I mean, before you didn't really recall how you all spoke. So why don't you elaborate now that you seem to recall that how you all spoke? How did you speak?
Okay, I don't recall specifics all the time, but I can recall general in terms of some of these texts, the way they're written. They're much more about emotional as opposed to, the different interpretation.
So you're going off of what you're reading off his text now? That's how you know?
I'm sorry.
What I'm trying to understand here is there an event on the plane where Amber says that Johnny threw ice at her, that he slapped her, that he kicked her in the back, and that was the day before this text exchange? And I'm trying to figure out if you know anything about that, or if the conclusions you're drawing that emotional concerns are based solely on this text chain. I'm trying to find out what the source of your knowledge even is.
I've already stated that I have no knowledge of any of what you just described on a plane. No knowledge.
Nicely done, Sara. Nice, Christie Dembrowski. Irritated. And what I'm trying to understand here is how you're deriving the conclusion that this is only about emotional abuse when it referred to in this text chain that there's a kick involved in the back.
I don't even, it's moving, sorry. I don't even think I said emotional abuse. I said that when we had conversations, she reached out to me for anything, or if there was a conversation about my kind of an argument, that these descriptions in here fit those kinds of conversations. What?
You just, yeah, sure, right. And then not a problem. 45 minutes. Okay, they're taking a break here. Maybe we should too. Where are we at time wise?
2:20.
Okay.
We're good to end.
Okay, we're on page 115.
Okay.
Where we're picking up again. Let's go to the chat in the end. Where did I leave off here? Iron Mimic, you wrote, welcome at Mozilla, drop kick to the grill. You want to be posers. Yes, I love a good drop kick, Pelel. 89. I think Howard's IQ is down to 69. Refresh your recollections. Just a pompous way of saying, do you remember? Pelel's so right. Are you high on Marilyn Manson? That'd be great if that was the question. Miss Dembrowski, was Mr. Depp high on Marilyn Manson?
I don't recall.
Johnny Meyer is a food order to pick up, by the way. Johnny, I got to know what it is. I got to know when you come back. Thank you, sir, for hanging as usual.
It's California, Los Angeles, so probably Nobu.
You think it's Nobu?
He's off to something about her sandwich shop.
What do you think about what Johnny Bye-Bye says? The lawyer's making a fool out of Depp's sister. She can't recall anything. She got hit in the head with Depp's phone, too.
Well, it's kind of what happened on the stand. If you remember, Rottenborn had this very similar line of questioning for her.
I was thinking about Rottenborn before, and I was thinking about how the ways that I would approach this if I were him, if I were his team. What would have been a good way to go with this? If I were Rottenborn, I would have come out and I would have said, you know what? I was a really big Johnny Depp fan. And then I saw Mordecai. And then I saw Lone Ranger. And then I saw Transcendence.
Lord.
And then I saw The Tourist. You start rattling off one bad film choice after the next. And I'm like, what is he doing? What happened to the guy that did? And then sort of do that, where it's taking the blame off of Amber and his film choices into how we got here.
But if I'm Ben Jew, I counter that with, what happened to Mr. Depp? And points to Amber Heard like he did when he called her the abuser and says, she happened to Mr. Depp.
But that would be my point. I would want him to do that so I can take I would go, and I would say to him, Ben, Mr. Chu, did Amber pick Mordecai?
Mm-hmm.
So he can have Paul Bettany work? And I would just do that over and over again. And I would paint myself that I was an ex-fan who's hated his artistic choices and Friends' choices or lack thereof. That's how I would.
But you got to admit, though, all of these flowery worded word salad texts that Amber Heard is sending to everybody, these are laying a foundation for a story, because she had this plan, and we know this from when she started, manipulating digital picture information back from 2013. So this was such a performance, a long con, as they call it, in the next show I'm about to go on. But yet it's amazing, her stamina for this shit.
The long con is quite a skill to have in life, that you could predict, you have this game plan that I'm going to start this long con and it's going to do this and this has to work and it all has to click in order for the long con to be executed. It's
Mhm.
quite a piece of work to engage in the long. Have you ever been involved in a long con? Has anyone here been involved in a
I
long
can't
con?
really I'm sure I have. I can't really think of anything sinister like this, but
Speaking of sinister, Pellel writes, Arms Kit, Mr. Feeney voice makes his line of questioning sound sinister. I picture a guy on top twisting his mustache and the ends of his mustache. Yeah, it's funny. Like when you come off like that, we talk about how charisma is so important to lawyers and believability. Like that would turn people off, like doing that. Like they would be like, "Oh fuck, this guy he's such a dick. He's so evil." Like you wouldn't even care if what he was saying was the truth. You just didn't like him, and
Mhm.
that's was so important in depths in Fairfax as to how they were perceived. Like the lawyers were just had so much more charisma, and her legal team was horrible. I mean, they did no knowledge of things. They were
Thank God.
mispronouncing stuff. They weren't just unlikable. They just didn't have their shit together knowledge wise.
Mhm.
And it was a lot of things like that. And it is all about charisma
Who
in the end.
misses Amica cream more than me?
I don't care about that. I was so tired. I was tired of that the first day. The fucking poser
I
Depford
took
Wives abusing
everything I could. I soaked in every flub I could from her
that
side.
TikTok culture and that Amic cream stuff is
I
so
know
tedious.
that was
Oh,
a
it was so
mess.
fucking tedious. Amber lies and projects. If he was the only one, if he was the only one on that daily, he wouldn't function. She has had a castmates to say she regularly went on huge benders. Yeah,
Mhm.
I know she did, but she's 20 fucking 6 and 7, and he's 50 something. It's a huge difference. And he's no business doing hard drugs at that age. It's disrespectful to his kids, to his family. It's completely there's no father of that level that should be doing that shit. If you love your kids and this whole trial is supposed to be about his kids, you ain't doing hard drugs in your goddamn 50s. It's absolutely retarded. I can't remember mine's dropping. Kathy Scott says he's a bodyguard and a former Orange County deputy, Mark Gibbs. And now he lives by you in Tennessee, Kathy, which is crazy. Hopefully he's really close that you could compare notes. They're law enforcement. I mean, they're law enforcement kindred spirits, right, Sarah? Mark Gibbs and Kathy Scott. Depp has been doing shit since he got famous. I don't know. Has been doing shit. What does she mean by shit?
Uh, drugs, I'm guessing.
Okay. Well, he's been doing. I mean, I don't know. His early days in Miramar, according to Bruce Witkin, cocaine was never in the plans. It was just really drinking. Um, him and drugs is weird, the in and outs. But according to his closest friends, none of that stuff was prevalent in the 80s.
I think
And
he will do, unfortunately, and very sadly, he will do anything that's put in front of him.
it took a break. I can't wait to hear from. Hopefully, Vanessa's hand is forced soon, and we get to hear her comment on stuff. I do not like the way that went down with his mother
I th-
of his
I think
kids.
he was sidetracked temporarily by the birth of his children. Good for him. I think he just tapered off. I don't know. Would you call it a break? I know what she's saying. For him, it's probably a break, but
You mean cheating on Vanessa with?
no, the drugs.
Oh, okay. Um, yeah, that's a great. Yeah, right. If there's, I do think he was sober probably. And I do know for a fact, like during the Lone Ranger, he was talking about, oh, I wasn't. So there were periods where, and I think Bruce Witkin said that in his transcript. There was like a period while filming, Lone Ranger was the only time he can remember him actually sober.
Mhm.
And
I
that there's
think
an
he's a
article
guy
on that.
he needs with his addictive personality, he needs constant distractions.
Yes, that's why I said that if he fulfilled his rock star, I had that question last week. If he was able to fulfill his rock star fantasy in the 80s and acting never came along, he'd be dead.
Mhm.
Because he would be indulged at the rock starriest of levels and all the, a television series like Jump Street keeps him on track on a schedule where you have to stave off. You can't hit it that hard. You have to hit your marks and you have to be on set. So movies and television saved his life. No matter, say what you will. This Hollywood vampire thing, if you took that shit and you put it in the 80s, he'd be dead. He wouldn't make it to age 30. You mark my
Mhm.
words on that, by the way. I have no problem saying that. Anyway, I want to thank everyone for joining us. Chat, you're magnificent as usual. Watch Sara on her make a comeback
Well,
on
you're gonna be
Radio
there
Gunk
tonight.
later tonight. Yeah, That's 9:05 Eastern Standard Time,
Ugh.
6:05 Pacific
My
Time.
bedtime.
What time is it now?
For me, it's 3:30.
Your time.
Mm-hmm.
So you got about 2.5 hours.
I gotta get a bunch of laundry done somehow.
You don't have. Everyone's just happy to see you at that point.
We'll see.
What the hell else do I want to say? Like and subscribe, everyone. Like and subscribe.
If you can't donate,
Smash
hit the
that
like
button.
button. That's free. Leave a comment. I don't care what you say. Get us in the algorithm. Love you all. Thank you so much.
Great to talk to you as well, Flamer24. Please come back. This is an aberration of a time, though. We don't always. I like this time because it's good energy in the afternoon.
I would
like
rather
this.
do this. Yes, I would rather do an early afternoon show.
This isn't ridiculous to do it.
No, but we are going to be going back to Friday nights. So.
I mean, you just have to do. I don't mind this.
Or we could do Wednesday afternoons.
Yeah, it could be a regular thing or semi-regular if we find ourselves too busy on and if anyone wants to join us on our Patreon watch-alongs, and here this was tough to get. We didn't need a third for this because it was too we didn't know it when you're doing the transcripts. It's just probably not. So Seinfeld watch-along, 21 Jump Street watch-along. We need a third or fourth mic. Anyone's welcome. Golden Girls and 90210, including you, Flamer24.
90210, by the way, the next episode, we're in the good stuff now, is the Spring Dance, an iconic episode. I haven't heard from Crazy Robin, so I don't know if she's going to join me for that.
Yep,
we planned. But if anybody can do me a favor, Saturday, we're having the celebration of life from my father. I know you don't know him. You've heard very vague stories about him here. Think about him for 2 seconds. That's all I ask. Raise a glass to him, whatever. He was a saint of a man. The world has lost so much with his passing.
Every time I lift Thor's hammer, I'll think about him. He was the only one worthy besides me. How do you send us a file, Flamer24? And go on our Patreon. We have new stuff coming up this week. I'll throw some Stern Red Meat up as I think about any requests you have. Jump Street, Seinfeld, 90210, Golden Girls, and
A.
beyond.
Smith wants you to send him an email about, I'm guessing, 21 Jump Street.
When
the time comes, sorry.
The Deppening at gmail.com, Flamer24, because it's got a Gmail. You could send files on it, because of the Google Drive. That's the best way.
Mm-hmm.
Or 17 Squabble Lane with 3 B's or 2 B's. I was thinking about him earlier. I said the man is a hero.
Thank you.
The man is definitely a hero. I studied that pic. He looks like my dad, who also passed away.
Sweet man. He came from nothing. He bettered himself. I miss him every day.
He has a lot of parallels to Richard Christie's dad.
Yeah,
when you hear about him. Very similar
same
dynamic.
Voice.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I got to stop talking about it.
Anyway, thank you all. I love you all. I will see you hopefully later at 9:05 with Sara's return.
Mm-hmm.
This is Arm for Sara saying,
Woo!
Sit down. Stay where you are. For the first time, I choose to walk out on you.
or 21 Jump.